Okay. Well, welcome to another presentation of Connecting the Dots. We're waiting on our other host to come in right now, and more people come in. So this presentation is going to be done by Marilyn. And before I even say anything else, we're just going to be looking at this picture that we see before us, and the words, perceptions of reality. And I'm letting some more people in right now. Okay. My father is coming in and I think it's let's see.
Hi, Marilyn.
Hi.
We all in now.
Hi, Shauna. I heard your voice.
Hi.
How are you?
All right, you?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. And I have to see who else. I heard Shauna in Maryland.
Then we have Sakari and Bobby Buck just came in as well.
Okay. Hi, Sakari. Hi, Brother Bobby.
Set it up.
Okay.
Hello.
We're getting ready to go on a journey in a minute, y'all.
Oh, Bobby, nice.
Good. Let me get my pencil and pad.
Yes,
Okay.
right. You better get your pencil and pad, okay?
Okay.
Everybody get your breathing together, because this is gonna get deep and real tonight, y'all. I'm excited.
There's one on that one right
I
there.
am too. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh my gosh. You are a reservoir of life and experience. And so it's like we all have to share all of the glory that's been put inside of us,
Yeah. None of us has a thought that hasn't been helped by somebody else to either get the thought or to express it.
Yes.
It's through others. It's through others.
That's right. That's right. It's like we're all a big piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yes.
That's why I always tell people, no one person nor no one group have all of the answers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, we welcoming Miss Aurora Day.
Hi, Miss Aurora Day.
Happy Thursday night, everyone. Hello.
Hi.
Bobby, Shana, Marilyn, Kari,
Bye.
Alicia.
Hey,
I'm coming to that picture.
Right?
I'm coming.
Hey, just click your heels 3 times and say,
Oh,
there's no
3
place
times.
like
There's
Aurora's
nothing-
home.
There's nothing lost in the spirit. There's nothing lost in the
Nothing
spirit.
lost in the spirit. I love it. And just in case you guys, I wanted to share about what there's nothing lost in the spirit, because I think this is something everybody should know. So if you can't find your keys, your wallet, or there's some paper, something you just can't find, you
phone.
say there's, especially a phone, right? You say there's nothing lost in the spirit, and I promise you're going to find whatever it is that you're looking for.
And everything else.
Say it 3 times.
Can't find. I say it until I find it.
Bell
I'm
ring.
walking around saying it.
That's
Bell
right.
ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I normally say it.
So true.
I say it 3 times. When I say it 3 times, and I just kick back for a minute, and then it just pop back up. So we're gonna open up this presentation with Marilyn. And Alicia, you would like to introduce Marilyn?
Sure. Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say Marilyn, magical Marilyn, powerful Marilyn is a beautiful friend of mine. We met by divine alignment probably about 7 years ago. And I was at, okay, oh my gosh, she's counting, 8 years ago. And I was just in farmer's market. She was in farmer's market. We connected and just had the most divine conversation. and our journeys have stayed connected, you know, for many, many years. We went through a period where we were out of touch, but thank you, Ray, for being at one of the events downtown. He brought home a video, and I said, with the lady with the purple hair, which is Marilyn, was reciting her poem. I'm like, that's my friend. I lost touch with her. That's how we reconnected, and here we are today. So I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure and an honor to have a solid friendship and a committed person to whatever you're going through. She stands by you just like a best friend would. I'm telling you, she's a wonderful, great person. And I want to say, Marilyn, I want to let you kind of say a little bit about your history. You know, I know that you've been doing this work since you were 16 years old, as far as working with people and out in the community and bringing forth change. And you've gone through your own journey that has kind of led you to this place where you are now as a teacher, and we're all teachers slash students. And I would let you just talk a little bit about your journey in this life leading up to this presentation.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Peace and blessings to us all. From my point of view, starting with perceptions of reality, we are all part of each other. And I am very grateful to each one of you that you are here to help me grow as a person. So I started this journey in the South Bronx, called Fort Apache, Lincoln Hospital.
Yep.
Fell on that one.
Know that Lincoln Hospital.
Yeah. So it was not a great place to be. My family wasn't a great family to be in. My mother, bless her heart, was a good person, but she came from a dysfunctional family, married dysfunctionally, and there was a lot of pain in my childhood, abuse, and we literally had to move middle of the night, got out of New York, came to California, started a life here, and I lived in, again, another environment here that was not sweet. It was hard. It was what I call a little bit of a war zone, dodging bullets. How to dodge the bullets in the Bronx, how to dodge the bullets in LA. And through my pain, I eventually got an education. By the time I was 16, I was back in New York, had my own apartment, working full time, acting like a grown up because I had to. There was nobody there to take care of me. I had to take care of me. I had gone through school, diagnosed with, they call it dyslexia, autism, high function. I learned how to learn because the way my brain was wired, because of what my mother went through while she was pregnant. There was a lot of chemicals happening inside her body. So when I came out, I had that chemicalization. I also had the genetic disposition for alcoholism, drug addiction, and it came out into my life later on, soon after I got on my own. Eventually, I'm going to make the story not so long, a little bit shorter. Eventually, I went to school, and through my quest to not be so broken and or to help other people, I found out that I had bits and pieces of me that had a distorted sense of reality. When you're raised around people that carry guns, they kill people, they hurt people, you learn how to navigate your environment, and you get a thought or many thoughts of what the world is. You listen to what they say. You're trying to survive in it. You adopt some of it. I was sent to live with some people when I was younger There was more abuse there. Got into households where they were very brutal, fundamental Christians. Again,
Mm,
another sense of reality distorted.
mm,
I got baptized by the time I was 10, 11 years old. By the time I was in my 20s, I started studying diligently. I was 16 when I started to study, but 20 I started studying diligently, got into university, and have not stopped learning from that point on. I became a counselor, and through my counseling, I have been able to heal most of my woundedness. However, there is a part of me that understands I'm not broken. I'm a part of God, the divine. I am in my perfection, and yet my human experience is that I have a different point of view at different times according to where I am, the environment I'm in. Do I feel safe to be honest or do I not? So self honesty is a very large part of my perceptions of reality.
mm.
I became a drug addict. I got sober. I became a minister. I continued to help other people. And uh, even when I was 16, I was in Harlem working with Peace Corps Victor, helping others. I found that by helping others, I helped myself. And the healthier I got, the more people I could help. I have physical conditions. I have fibromyalgia, I have arthritis, I have chronic fatigue, I have a thyroid condition. I've got several things going on in the body because it's the vehicle that I'm in, and I've learned to take really, really good care of it. At a couple of few times in my life, I become homeless, and the last time was due to an accident in 2009, April. I couldn't work, and I was in my 50s. People didn't really want to hire somebody my age doing the job that takes a lot of stamina. So I semi-retired. However, I have been available to individuals in the communities that I've been in for mentoring, consultation for approximately 40 years now. And
Wow.
I am still a very, very grateful person to all the people in this world that have given me the capacity to communicate, listen, and learn and share. That's
Yes.
throughout this presentation. You'll hear more of my story, but that's enough.
Thank you. Wow.
Wow.
Give some love on that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's serious talk right there. You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
of our path. Now,
Yes.
I'll be in the backfield, Marilyn, and you would say just next slide. So
Okay.
whenever you're ready, you just say
Go
next
ahead and go to the slide if you would be so kind as to do so. So it took me a lot of work, and it's still taking me work to decide how I'm going to live, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to think. And the beginning of that is where do your beliefs come from? And this is a question for everyone. Our beliefs are how our life is expressed. Aurora has a really great background in the financial capacity for an individual and for community. I've listened to her, and I'm grateful that she is here because there are things that I just don't understand. I don't know. I appreciate when other people have information that's going to help me grow.
Mhm.
So, where do your beliefs come from? And which beliefs do you feel have influenced you the most? Again, I said I'd be talking a little bit. So, if anybody would like to start, it's a very wide question topic. Where do your beliefs come from? If I gave you a little topic subtopic, it would be, what are your spiritual beliefs? Do you believe in one life, this particular life? Do you believe in reincarnation? Do you believe in other dimensions? Again, it goes wide.
And
However, you can see and feel and communicate to us. Where do your beliefs come from? Were you
Ooh.
raised in an environment where there were no beliefs given, or were your beliefs given to you by the people in the household or community? And if so, which beliefs do you feel have influenced you the most? Who would like to share?
Okay, hey, look, I'm gonna ring the bell on that one because I know some I know some heavy hitters out there. Like, bam! Wait a minute now, you know they want to go in. So listen, just go for it, and I go as long as you can. You know, just feel as long as you can, and because this is a good question. That's what I'm imposing. Man. This is a very good
I'm raising my
question,
hand.
and everybody want to go. So
Beliefs, yeah.
let's go with some of our new ones who new to our platform, connecting the dots. You know, I like to hear some from them first, and that like Bobby, Sean. But I'm calling out names.
I know. You just put me on the spot like that.
Did
Oh,
yeah, he put
I'll
you on
go.
the spot.
I'll go.
well,
I'll go.
Donna?
I can say my beliefs. The way I was raised in a Christian household. I was raised where we went to grandma's house and we went to church on Sundays. Bible study we could sneak away from, not all the time, but some of the time. So I was raised heavily with believing in the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. I still believe in that, but I also believe that God, my body here is my physical body, and I'm a spiritual being. I also believe that my spiritual being was put here for a reason, and it's left up to me to recognize those doors when those doors are open for me. I believe that I go through things for a bigger reason, and that's to strengthen me into what God has put me here for. So I do know that I'm a leader. I do know that I'm real spiritual sensitive. I'm a really good judge of character. I don't take life for granted, but I also know when you're trying to BS me too.
Okay.
Right.
So that's kind of how I feel about that.
Which, in your belief system, what do you think has influenced you the most in making your life choices?
Hearing my grandmother's voice in my ear. Hearing my grandmother's voice.
Yeah, you gotta get them alone on that one. My ancestors talking to you. That's right.
Yeah. Because my environment was so distorted. I got a lot of different ideas of reality,
Mm.
and having come from an abusive looking
Mhm.
became baptized, I felt from my point of view what was the Holy Spirit coming in, and that became the core for me to navigate the rest of the world. I was only 10 years old.
Okay.
Later on, I would be exposed to spiritualism, Buddhism, atheism,
Wow.
lots of different belief systems. I'm also Jewish. Um, so I started to study. I started to study and realize that not any one of them, for me, had a absolute definition.
Right.
For me, my belief and everybody's belief became subjective
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
from my point of view. And having become a counselor, again, it's still the same point of view I had, that
Right.
I do understand and respect other people's belief system, because that is the belief system that is right for them.
I totally agree.
I agree.
I agree. I
Mm.
mean, I think if my grandmother did not implant into me what she did when I got married, I was a battered wife. So I did go through abuse from my husband. And all I could think is I stayed with him because we made a pact with each other and with God to be husband and wife. But then I had to think about it too. I said, well, God didn't put me on this earth to be man's punching bag.
Nope.
So I had to figure out a way to get out of that situation. So I think if my belief was not strong, because I just said, God, give me the strength to do what I need to do for me and my kids for the betterment of us. And
Mhm.
I ended up fighting, but after that fight, I ended up fleeing from that situation. And if it was not for the strength where I knew to pray about it and to ask God to do certain things for me, that I might have stayed in it a little longer than what I did. It's the same with I become homeless. I became homeless, and I figured God put me in that situation for me to learn something, to open my mind up so I can help others. I was blessed to not have to ever live on the streets or in my car or anything. I always was able to get a roof over me and my daughter's head. But the belief of me just like, Lord, where do you want me to be? Lord, open those doors, and me paying attention and being that good steward, what I was taught was, I think, what has helped me through all the situations that I've been in, even the lupus diagnosis and, all of the things that I mentally, spiritually, and physically, financially gone through. My faith is what keeps me motivated and upbeat and like, okay, God, what lesson is it that you want me to learn now? I'm ready.
Hmm.
Yes.
Thank you, Shauna. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
That's
sharing
right.
that.
Thanks,
Yes.
Shauna.
Nice.
On that one.
So
Mm.
Anybody else want to
I'll
take a mouthful of that question?
go.
Yay.
Lotus, Sarah,
Loaded.
Hi, how are you
Yeah.
guys?
I did not introduce
hi.
Lotus. Lotus just came in. How you doing, Lotus and
Oh,
Cara?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Great. Nice to see you.
Awesome. That's a very interesting question. Um, I grew up being Catholic. It wasn't like fully extended, but but it was mixed in with indigenous culture. I come from South America, from Bolivia. So I grew up actually praying to a Black Virgin Mary. She was brown. um,
I
yeah,
love
she
it.
was brown. She was brown. She was beautiful. And so for me, I think I grasped onto that more than I did to the whole ideology of the white Jesus. Simply because there was so much more depth in the indigenous part of worshiping this virgin, what quote unquote Virgin Mary, right? And the culture behind it, like the tradition behind it, the music behind it, the drums, the flute, the process in which they went about worshiping Mother Earth. So that was my first encounter with, I guess you could say, spirituality. And that was as a child. I came to this country at 7, and it was a little bit of a culture shock being a child who grew up to some extent in a home that was allowed to worship someone that looked or had my skin color. And so for me, the culture shock here was that people who were brown skin weren't necessarily worshiping what I thought everyone would be worshiping. What made sense to me. And so to me, I questioned that in some sense, like why would that happen? But I was a kid, and I never really like dived into it. But I think maybe that was like my biggest search. And I think the reason I grasped onto it, it was because I think all my life I've been in search for myself. And in all honesty, when you ask me if I believe in anything, I would have to say no. I've come to this conclusion at this very point in my life that I believe in absolutely nothing but experience.
Wow.
And when it comes to that, I would say that experience is a teacher of all. And experience will put you out in the world, allow you to feel exclusion and inclusion, will allow you to and this is all you're doing, by the way. Right? This is all your free will. This is all your free will. And that's the catch. I think that's the catch. That's when I remember talking about this Virgin Mary and seeing how they worshiped her and seeing how pretty much indigenous people, how they treat the woman, right? Because the woman is, when they're doing the culture, the way they plant, the way they do the harvesting, they literally give the seeds to the woman. She's the one to do the planting because she knows where it's going to go. She knows specific why, because it's an internal guidance that she has. And I think for me, I lost my internal guidance from the moment I came into this earth, simply because of what I experienced at birth. And so I believe that there was a part of me that literally just shut down. And so my search and seeing this goddess was always in search of my own godliness, my own womanhood. And go ahead.
At what time? At what age do you think you shut down?
I think I shut down the moment my father looked at me for the very first time. If we want to talk about vibrations, oh yeah, they exist. And those first few moments that you feel with your mom and your dad, your providers that are going to be there for the rest of your life, whatever energy they give out of that very first moment, that's your welcoming. Like, that's hello, welcome to planet Earth. Like, you're here as like a being that's going to change the world because we're ready for you. And you don't get that. And as a child, I don't think we all know that that's what it is. But you feel it. I felt it. I felt it at home constantly. I just never knew what it was. And it took me through this huge journey of having this idea of this beautiful goddess that men worshiped. Right? And then, excuse me.
Okay.
That's okay.
You got your napkins? You got your tissue?
Some love.
The tissue.
You got something to hold on to?
Pillow?
Let it go.
This is why
Yes.
we're here.
Yes.
And support.
Coming to
Let
this
it go.
earth.
Yeah.
The men around you don't treat you that way.
Speak the truth.
This is why you have community.
You know, and it starts with that fatherly aspect. You know, that's why I say, my God, we live in a generation. Don't take the fathers away from your kids. Yes, he might be a low life. He might be whatever it is you want to call him. But at the end of the day, that male energy brings out your female energy. And it's all the welcoming of that male energy, welcoming this female energy. And I think that for me, I didn't get that from my father. And I think that was a moment where I completely shut down that feminine aspect of myself. And so when I saw how this feminine aspect was being worshipped, and not only that, but the color, I mean, that is just so important. Like people don't realize how important it is to be able to look at something that looks like you and be able to feel like you belong. Like you're part of this unity we call Earth. And I think a lot of people don't realize the importance of being able to grow up and be like, oh my gosh, like I remember certain images of these men throwing flowers at her, you know, just like worshiping her because it was the season of harvesting and she was going to bring life back, and the man couldn't get enough. And so I had this image, and then I grew up, had this image, but the image was in contrast with my reality. And so now what do you get when you have that? You have a split personality. Like you literally are a split in the inside. You're fragmented. You're walking around with fragmented ideas. And so you can't really believe in anything. You can't, because everything that you see around you is not a concept of what is inside of you, of how you see reality in your head, of what you saw, what was perceived in the mind, and then around you, it's all completely different. And so now your whole perspective of life is fragmented. And unless you're able to get yourself out of that fragmentation, unless you're able to get inside your mind and heal yourself from those pieces that have been broken, we're always going to feel like we don't belong. We're always going to feel like something's not there. We're always going to feel like something's off. We're always going to feel like, is it that person? Is it them? Or is it me? What is it? And once you start doing that work, like myself, I'm on that eye of that tornado, I guess you can say. When you look at it and you see it, and at the end of the day, for myself, like the only thing I have is my experience, and I believe in nothing else.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's powerful.
In my culture, I was also raised partly Catholic, but our indigenous people from the island, we had Obatala and Chango.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who they are.
Oh yeah.
But
Orisha.
those were,
we know.
these were our African teachers. They were the way we understood the world was through our comprehension of a divine being that came in different bodies. And it was powerful. So I had so many things in my head to try to figure out about the planet and belief systems. And I'm still learning constantly from other people.
Mm.
I have not finished deciding what life is about. I don't have an absolute understanding of reality.
Find out.
I just don't.
So we're all destined to find out.
You know, I come to ask myself that same question because in the process, um, you ask yourself, like, what is real? Like, is what I'm feeling real, or is what is going on outside real? And if we are projecting, is what I'm thinking that other person is doing, is it really just me? And I think when it comes down to it, it really is just us. Like, I've come to realize that
Yes.
whatever it is that I'm thinking about the other person, positive, negative, whatever it might be, it's not them I'm thinking about. It's myself. And so what happens is that when you learn to love that other person, especially all their flaws, is you're literally coming in contact with your own flaws and loving them. And then therefore just shutting down that gap of your own fragment, the own fragment of your mind. And I realize that everyone that comes into your life, all those things that you dislike about them, for myself, I realized from experience, that's all the things I don't like about myself. So I have a choice. I can get myself to the side and figure out why I don't like those things about myself and go forward with that. Or I can learn to love the other person and learn to love those things. And in the process, you're literally healing yourself. It's something I didn't know. I'm just learning that. I didn't realize that until like now, that the reason we push people away so much and the reason we get to a point where we hate them so much is because there's that gap. We think we're not that. We think we're not the abuser. We think we're not the rapist. We think we're not the person that constantly, we think we're not that. And so we push them away and we say, no, I'm better than that. You don't deserve my love. You don't deserve this or that. But in reality, what we're doing is we're saying that to ourselves. Because if we can see that in the other, then it exists in us. It definitely exists in us. And that's where you could start to heal. Like when you see people and you dislike something about them, figure it out, find out, because it's you. It really isn't them. Perception doesn't go that far to where it's a psychic thing where you're like, oh, that's what they're doing. No, it's what you're doing. It's how you're perceiving it. And it's usually fragmented how we see things because we've been put through, put through the ringer as human beings. All of us have experienced so much, regardless of how tiny it might have been. Remember, it's how we took it inside. It's how we felt inside, not what was happening on the outside. And so all of us are just walking around trying to figure out what is this thing called life. And the thing is if you're doing something on the outside that's not balancing with your inside, that's a split too, right? It's you wanting to go to the park, but instead you're doing the dishes. And so you become confused and angry and all of that because your internal world doesn't look like your external world. Your internal world is wanting to go to the park, but you're making your internal world wait. Literally, you're saying to yourself, I'm not going to give you that right now. You don't get to go to the park. What you have to do is wash the dishes. Yes, there's responsibilities. That's understood. But at some point, you got to take that person to the park. sometime during that day, you gotta meet those needs, because otherwise we're living a world of just like, here's me and then there's that, and it doesn't match, and it's just sad.
It
And
is
so
sad.
I realized that today, as I was meditating, no joke, today I was meditating and I was like, where am I feeling so much resistance? Where's my resistance to this life coming from? And I realized it's because my external world wasn't what I wanted in my internal world. I was lying to myself. Not only was I lying to myself, I was denying the fact that I was lying to myself. And being able to say all these things is a process, because I wouldn't have been able to say all these things 5 months ago. It's too vulnerable. It's it's way too vulnerable.
Lotus, I have a question for you.
Ask, please.
Um, you weren't here when I made a statement earlier, which was that I believe our understanding of reality is subjective, and that
Mhm.
all of us are part of the divine. So we're each other.
Mhm.
Is there, would it feel comfortable for you? I want to make sure whatever I say is very clear. To say that as we continue on this journey, that we mature and grow, and then the things that we thought before, we reassess those beliefs and come to a new understanding of reality.
I believe that you can only do that if you change your program.
Okay.
So your subconscious is your program, pretty much. It's what you've been given as a child to work with, like a computer. It can only do so much, right? If you get a $200 computer, it's only going to do $200 shit. If you get $1,000 computer, it's going to do $1,000 shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's like a human being. Depending on what mommy and daddy put on you, that's exactly what you're working with.
Okay.
And if you come to that conclusion, and if you come to that understanding, not even a conclusion, if you come to that understanding, then you realize, okay, what is working for me and what is not working for me. Whatever is not working for me is not working for me, because, and what I mean with working for me, I mean in the sense of, why can I get myself to do the things that I want to do? Why can I get myself to get up at the time I want to get up? Why can I get myself to eat healthy? Why can I? Because you don't have the program.
Okay.
You weren't giving the program to do certain things. Just like if a child wasn't loved, you cannot expect this child to give love. It doesn't have the program. And so on a subconscious level, you change the program. And then from there, I think from there, automatically, it's an automatic change. It's not even like I thought that it was going to take forever, but if you just change the subconscious, what you said happens, which means it's an automatic, you begin to let go of all the things that no longer serve you without resistance, because now the program is there. The words of self-love have been put into the program, the words of affirmations based on, I can do this, and I'm wonderful, and I'm beautiful, and I'm strong, and I'm resilient, and I'm successful. Those are the things that we don't have in our program, most of us.
Right.
I know I didn't grow up like that, right?
So I
Wait,
don't want
wait.
to.
We're gonna make a bookmark. There's a lot been going on, so we're gonna ring this bell a little bit, and so everybody can wake up a little bit.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Yeah.
So,
Man, I've just been sitting here listening, and wow, it is so rich in wisdom right here. So I want to make a bookmark as conscious community, as connecting dots conscious community, that I feel that we listening to this, in my mind, I have created a bylaw or a concept that I termed it, and I have to share with everyone based on all the wisdom and knowledge that we have heard so forth in this meeting that we just had. And the word the word is the word is mirror eyes. It's mirror eyes.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
there.
Okay.
The word, listen, the word is mirror eyes. You know, to be in a virtual balanced state to get to this uh, dimension down here with interaction with other beings is to walk through with mirror eyes. And what mirror eyes came from is what the Lotus was speaking about is when she say that you know you dealing with someone and you see the negative in them and it's just a negative in you. So in essence, I came up with the concept of saying mirror eyes, walk through life with mirror eyes. The people that you meet understand and know that you're speaking to yourself in another time and space. And love them like you would love yourself no matter where they are in that. But then again, you would come to a spot that you may have to break away from it and let it happen some kind of way because everything is not always compatible and everyone is not going to be there with you. But in essence, you will be walking through life with mirror eyes. Is that you're expressing the love upon yourself just like upon them. And if you see something about them in them, the only reason why you see it is because you acknowledge it in the first place, or you have some wisdom to see that. It doesn't, you know, like it goes in concordance with
Mm,
experience because you just said experience is the best teacher. So from your past experience, you know, you may think of someone in that way because you have experience of that. However, you
Mm,
may come to that conclusion.
mm-hmm.
But mirror eyes is walking through life, seeing people as yourself.
okay.
And the energy you picking up off of them is because you recognize that energy. And don't be aggressive with that. Just understand and maneuver around it.
Mm,
You know, so I just want to say mirror eyes because
uh-huh.
that and Lotus, you inspired me
Uh,
that because that was so beautiful the way you was bringing it
aw.
all together.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent.
S-
And
Can I
also
finish? Go ahead.
yes, and also I want to welcome brother Shantae. He just came
Oh,
in,
yay.
and
Hey, Brother Shantae.
and
Hello,
also
everyone.
also one
How are
more
you
thing.
doing?
Uh, after Lotus, if you're done, anyone can jump in afterwards, and we can
Okay.
continue. All right.
So I'm going to close it up.
I,
Go ahead.
okay. I wanted to, well, go ahead and close because I want Bobby Buck to make a statement. I asked him before the program
Okay.
to make a statement which will segue into another part of the
You got
presentation.
it.
So Lotus, please
Okay. So to
continue.
finish it off, when it comes to the practice of spirituality, I believe that we have the possibility of faking ourselves out, thinking it's spirituality. So, what spirituality does, especially in the West, what has happened is that we're so focused on the upper part of our body that we don't realize that if you're not rooted to the ground, nothing can truly grow. And so we have
Okay.
this idea of spirituality based on right meditation, enlightenment. But the truth of the matter, you know what spirituality I believe it is? It's the very basics. The very basics of your life, which is your responsibilities. What are the things? Let's see the five things to your life: your finances, your success, your family, your love relationships. There's like two other more things that if you focus on those things, and if those things are not rooted, I don't care how much spirituality you have, your spirituality is based on an illusion that you're pretty much placing on yourself because you're trying to get away. So for me, I feel like in spirituality, you root yourself to the ground. And once you have that, the key is the vulnerability. And that's pretty much the end. Once you're able to be completely vulnerable with that person that you say that you love and you're willing to show them completely who you are, then all of a sudden that heart, right? The heart has been electrified, the heart has been opened, the heart has been released, the heart now is able, the energy is able to go up to the throat chakra, the seventh chakra, and sacral chakra. And so that's the whole for myself, I would say. Thank you. I appreciate for
Thank
being allowed
you.
to speak.
Thank
Lotus.
you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add, then you become a lotus flower.
There you go.
Wow.
You make the transformation.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Notice,
Yeah.
notice that
Just in the past.
really connected, and I appreciate your wisdom, Lotus.
Thank you.
Ashe.
Thank you. I appreciate all of you. You guys allowed me to feel really comfortable and vulnerable in a place where I usually wouldn't. And thank you for that. I so appreciate all of you guys, and just a huge hug to all of you, because I thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Sukari.
Anybody else want to get it? Give your shot at it.
Sukari.
It's just Sukari. No,
Yeah,
Su like a car and re.
it's my accent, and I have dentures that don't fit correctly. I even have a lisp. It's hard for I have even taken them out
Marilyn,
I performed because I couldn't sing. I had to take them out and put them
Don't you take
back.
them out right now. Don't you take them out right now. Look at
Earl was falling out.
Marilyn, give me a call tomorrow. I'm sorry, Marilyn, you can give me a call tomorrow. I don't know if you know what I do, Miss Marilyn, but give me a call tomorrow.
You a dentist?
Yeah.
Give me a call tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to call you too.
See, now you got a whole bunch of people calling you,
two calls,
Shantae.
man.
My dentist. You got the
All
road.
because of Sakari and Marilyn's teeth.
In the Spanish, it's azúcar.
Azúcar. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, right there.
Azúcar.
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 It's not
I
azúcar.
like
That's
that.
sugar.
Azúcar.
No,
Wait.
not azúcar.
It's
That's
sugar.
sweet.
Well, one of our very well-known is Azuquita. Azuquita Mommy.
That's the first time I heard that.
Oh, Azuquita Mommy. I like
Azuquita
that.
Mommy.
But I know that's
We use that a lot.
Azuquita, mommy.
Yeah, everything is an ita when you want to make them endeared, right?
Oh.
Azuquita Mommy. Yeah.
Azuquita Mommy in the house. Sukari,
Azuquita,
Azuquita Mommy, Azucar.
Azúcar. Well, Celia Cruz used to sing it a lot in her songs.
Yeah, I used to sing her songs.
I love Celia. Oh man,
Yeah.
That's what I learned growing up. That there were more people of color in the world than just my little area, but whenever I traveled, the way I was raised, I always looked for my community, and my community was of color, and they had the liveliest and the best businesses. It was just, that's how I was raised. So I always look for that. When I went in any country I go, that's what I'm looking for, the life of the community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you. Bobby.
Yes.
So we're gonna segue into another question and on some other what
I want to chime in on this.
what
Yeah, me
Delicia.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanna continue with this one?
This is open platform.
Yeah, we gotta finish this one, because this is the foundation of who we are and who we become.
I'm not gonna
fly
through this.
Okay.
Yeah, we just gotta
all right,
sit through it and really, I mean, it's a really big question. And I wanted to say that I just feel blessed to be in this circle of conversation about it. This really defines, who we are, who we become, and then where are we going with this, and I'm not saying this presentation, this is for what we believe and how can we change to be better to the all. And I really appreciate what Lotus had to say, because a lot of times the things that we see that we don't like in other people, or we may be of a different religious or even sexual orientation, and we'll say something like, oh, I can't get with them. But then there's probably things about them that resonates within us, you know. And I was going to say, so I really appreciate just, I want to say, this beautiful pot of stew that's being put together. And I'll just say in short, for me and my belief systems and where they came from, and I want to feel what influences me most, is that first of all, even though my mother, I don't know so much about my dad, but because my grandfather was a traveling musician and he was gone a lot. Okay. And he was very successful at it, actually, even back in his time. But in my mother's side, they were like raised in church, like hardcore Bible study and the whole 9 yards. But because my mom saw so much hypocrisy, you know, in her own house, to say in the church and with the people and family and everything, she didn't want us to be raised in that same manner. So I wasn't raised in church at all. So basically, my parents were not only just the disciplinarians, but you know, the thumb of rule is, you know, you do what's right, you don't steal, you be respectful of people. I mean, there was just certain guidelines and protocols that I had growing up. And at the age of 8, I went to church with a neighbor just because I wanted to go with her and her son because we were buddies, because we were like the same age, you know. And I went and I got myself baptized. And ironically, my dad was very against me being baptized. Him and my mom like had a big fight and argument about it. And my dad did not go to my baptism. Okay. Okay. Now, believe it or not, my mom was there, but then it was just kind of like after the baptism happened, I didn't go to church again until I was about 28 years old. Okay. And then, but I always had this innate, you know, desire to be with God and to be godly. And I know that just comes from the ways that I was raised from my parents, but it was just something organic. I mean, I've even written poems that got published about God that I would write. And then suddenly I just wanted to know more about God. And then my first inclination was to go to church, you know. And I remember once I felt like that need to make that connection, you know, I wanted to be saved, quote unquote, you know, but it wasn't like ushered in through my family. You get what I'm saying? It was just kind of like a journey that I feel that was infused into me, that got me to this point where I am now. Now I'm kind of like you, what you said in the beginning. You know, you've gone through so many different facets of spirituality or religion, and you find that they all have pieces and beauty in them all, but one is not necessarily definitive or better than the other. So I'll just say that what's really influenced me the most, I want to say, is my mom saying, you know what's right. No one needs to tell you that. That's already inside of you. And I feel like, even biblically speaking, it says that those tablets of this, say, quote unquote, righteousness and right thinking and right doing, it's already been infused in us. So I want to say part of my I want to say fragmentation has been like every time I start getting information about a different path or a different religion, I can embrace it, but then I feel like this is not the end all be all. And I don't want to become religious. And so I was very religious at one point. I'm an ordained minister. My God. I mean, you know, you couldn't take me from the church, and you still can't take that righteous desire out of me. And so I'm just at a place now where I can embrace anybody's spirituality and religion. I don't believe in hurting or harming people. That part I'm very kind of like hard on about, because I just don't think that's right. But in a nutshell, what's really influenced me the most is that I love to love. I was very much loved as a child by both of my parents, I have to tell you. Even when they weren't loving each other, they were still loving me, and they were still loving my brothers. And so I love everybody, but sometimes when I feel like people don't love me or don't want to reciprocate that love back, you know, I'm a very tender person. You know, I've just toughened up because, hey, I ain't no joke no more. You know what I'm saying? I have established boundaries, and I had to realize that setting boundaries for myself was part of that self-love and influencing me going forward. So in a nutshell, I want to stop, but I want to say that I had a free form life where I wasn't born into religion. It wasn't passed down to me. Okay. So I feel blessed that my mother and my father, they let us all, including my 3 brothers, they let us all kind of pursue our own paths. And in that now, I don't know what to call myself, but I know that my intention is good and to uplift humanity and to share and love and feed you till you can't eat anymore. So I love you, and I'll leave it right there. So someone else.
I apologize that I did not ask if you or Ray wanted to uh, be include your stories or your perceptions here. I was trying to get to a different point, but Ray, please share with us. Thank you, Delicia.
Yeah.
You're delicious.
Hey, I'm making hummus tonight. All right.
Okay, wait a minute now.
What does that have to do with delicious?
Very, very.
Girl,
What
she
did
knows
she
what it
say?
tastes. She knows what my hummus
Oh.
tastes like. She's asked me to make it for her, so she knows it's
delicious.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has to do with very delicious.
Yours is coming, but go ahead.
Now, Ray, Brother Ray,
What?
Yes, Aurora Day.
is Brother Ray speaking now?
Yeah, I was gonna chime in. You want to
Okay.
go?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking. You know, I was back here laughing, right?
On the floor, you said you're falling. You're falling.
She said on the floor, I was laughing. Now we know what you're doing.
We can't see her because she's on the floor.
That's what happened.
Brother Ray and Sister Delicia, no, they're gonna laugh because I'm laughing because where do your beliefs come from? Now, you know, I shared stories about my father a lot because he's the weirdest man I've met in my life. And he used to look at me. I'd be like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and every year he would say, "You know, when you get 18, you're getting the hell out of here, right?" And I'm a kid. But he would consistently tell me, you know, and as every year I got older, now you know, when you get 18, you're getting the hell out of here, right? Right. And that was his thing. So that was my belief. Like it was like when I get 18, I'm getting the hell out of here, right? So that gave me the opportunity to begin to think about where I was going and how the heaven I was getting, right? Okay. So I started watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous because in my mind I was saying, you, how am I gonna live, right? I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's telling me I gotta get out of here, right? How am I gonna live? How am I gonna live? Now, I had to live in my room because my father was the type of man that he don't want to see anybody. When he's in that house, he don't want to know you in the house. So everybody lived in their room. It was the craziest life. But I was in my room playing. Barbie had a business. My Cabbage Patch dolls, I homeschooled my Cabbage Patch dolls, and Barbie had a business. And so I had a whole like economy in the room.
Wow.
That's what I believe, that was life. And I walked right into that. I ended up homeschooling children and having several businesses. That's what I was doing. As I was watching Robin Leach, that was my belief. I have to have a lifestyle similar to the rich and famous because I got to get out of here when I get 18.
Yes.
See, so when
That's
you're
awesome.
saying where the beliefs come from, that's been the belief. That's been the belief. No matter where you are, you got to get out of here.
Because you're almost 18, you got to go.
So, do you want me to tell you
My mother was a little more diplomatic. Hers was you either get a job or go to school. That was it. At 18, if you're gonna be here, you got to go to get a job or go to school. She gave you some direction.
Well, at least you got to be there.
At least you didn't have to leave. You didn't have to
always
leave.
cleaning or cooking.
You know, I'll tell you
Watching
the advantage of your father leaving you alone in your room is that he gave you the opportunity to really expand on your own.
Yeah.
You know, I think most kids don't have that. You know, most kids, they have the nagging parents that are constantly at them. And so therefore they don't really have the time to form some type of belief for themselves because the parents are constantly like on their ear about what they need to be doing, on their ear about what they should be doing, not doing, liking, not liking, talking, not talking. But you sort of got lucky in the sense where, you know, your dad sort of left you alone and gave you that ability to expand on yourself, on this idea of, I have to get out of here at 18, so I got to do something. And I think in this case, what your dad did really worked well. like overall, you could say he didn't give me much attention, and he didn't. But I think as children, if we are left alone in that manner for periods of time, we come to our own belief system. We figure it out on our own, like you did. You figure it out on your own, that I gotta live, I gotta eat. And then you literally just looked at things that talked about abundance.
Yes.
Right. And so you gave yourself that opportunity to where you were like, it's an abundant life out there. No wonder he's kicking me out, because there's so much out there for me to have. There's nothing here, only this room. And so the perception he gave you in some way was one in which he allowed you to just expand into your own being, into your own person. And I think to some extent that's lovely.
Yes.
Yes.
Lotus gave us
Y'all
a
got
whole.
the chat. Y'all got the chat blowing up over here. What?
Wow, this has been such a like profound question. So between Brother Bobby and Ray, who gonna go next?
I'll go. I'll keep it short because I can expand on this in a lot of different ways. But I'm gonna say this, that my belief got me to a certain point, and then I started having knowing. I had to build up my knowing. You know, I belief is a street to get me to my destination, and my destination is knowledge. And from that knowledge, I can gain wisdom and understanding. You know, and I grew up just like everybody. I was programmed with all the beliefs of my parents and everything around me until I come to realize that, you know, that we are our reality. What we perceive, everything in this universe is mental. And from that point on, you know, this happened during my prison college days. You know, you know, I just drove off into a lot of different books and deep wisdom books, and I meditated a lot, and I had many insights in prison, and I still have them. I still have them. Just, you know, I write them down. You know, I don't too much talk about them. But anyway, yeah.
Ring the bell, baby.
Belief.
Don't forget,
Belief. You know, I believe in a lot of things coming up. That they say this, they say that, and then I found out that I did my research and I found out that's not what it is. And then I started looking up the word belief. What belief mean? I seen belief was, you know, is to be lie. It's not to be all the way true. So you some just risky in that. So and then I fall up into the Gnostics, and then I found out about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and those are the energies I like to deal with as of right now. You know, that's what I deal with: knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and belief is the new things that come about. Somebody may come up to something I believe in that for a while and research it and look off into it and see if it pans off. Then it's a knowledge, it's a gnosis.
Seeker.
Yeah,
yes.
Indeed, I am a seeker. I'm a seeker.
Yes.
I am a seeker. Yeah, and so it's beautiful that, you know, we can come together and talk about these things in a collective form and make these great leaps and bounds over our achievement. Now, our achievement is empowering and bettering ourselves and learning self-care through all the knowledge that we acquire and connected to the Dots Conscious Community, and which is us. We are the dots in this community, you know, and it just goes on to say, belief is going to get you started, and your destination is knowledge. And when you get
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
When you get the destination of knowledge, you'll gain some wisdom. And
Yeah.
that wisdom will manifest into understanding. And that understanding is everything. It's love. It's it's steps. So that's and which one of these influence? Okay, and which belief you feel have influenced the most? Uh, just that when I found out the word belief, what belief was, and I took that a step further after that, and then I only use belief in a lower archetype, in a lower form. It's not in my vocabulary, And sometimes, I'll come to a person, they say they believe in this, believe in that, and I ask them what they know. They get stuck. And, say, what have you experienced? And people can always come back on their experience, and then I say, well, that's what you know. Then they just really have to reassess how their perspective and their view on life, because in my belief, when I say belief, I'll go straight back to cosmology. What's your cosmology? And like, what is that? How do you think the universe works? How you was created? All that has to do with you are, because you are the universe. So I study these things and kind of find out that, that's just what it is. And right now, I am happy. I feel around love people. I can talk about things that uh, I would say that's taboo. And
nothing's taboo.
Yeah, taboo. And the thing about it is, yes, when I went through the belief system as stages and degrees. I was a Christian, then I graduated into Islam, and then I was initiated into, I guess you could say, the Buddhism understanding, Hare Krishna, and then I graduated into the cosmic scheme of the universe, and so I consider myself as a cosmic being, because there are cosmologies that have cosmologies inside of them. It goes on and on forever, and
yes, it's eternal.
And it's proven, scientifically proven, that the universe is created out of nothingness, just like you create out of nothingness. You create out of nothingness. You conceive in your brain a thought, an image. You get a blueprint of it, and you can manifest it into the real world. So that's my whole take on belief. And the one that influenced me the most was when I looked up the word belief. And I
wow.
I want to welcome Sister Sheila and Shantae. Now y'all two, y'all want to can y'all answer this question for us?
Be a little more specific about your question. And
can you see it?
You see it?
Oh no. I'm actually on my mobile unit. I was coming from me, so I can't see the question.
Okay.
I can
read it.
Is okay. The question is, where do your beliefs come from, and which beliefs do you feel have influenced you the most?
Oh, okay. I'll answer that question. My beliefs, they stimulated from my parents, my mom mostly. She was, I was raised Pentecostal, and really went through a system of, understanding. And I'm a seeker, so I went to understand knowledge. So I started, my grandfather was a minister and pastor, and I don't know if you're from LA, you may know about the Page family, family. And so I grew up underneath the Page family. And so these beliefs in God came from just that part right there. And where I ended up at is when I got on my own, I'm not going to make this long because my background history would just make this a long story. So, but my spiritual beliefs, they're grounded around just love. Really no, I guess if you really knew my background and knew who I am and how I really dwell. I just do it. I deal with spirit, and who you are as an individual. A lot of us come from somewhere, and a lot of us humans really want to forget where they came from. So spirits, um, um, they want to forget where they came from if they came from nowhere. But if we like the thing about gathering the village or group and love, that comes from what we're learning today.
Ashe.
And new things that are happening, they don't have a face to it. They have what we call just love and spirit. So that's what we are responsible people are all about. Really, if I don't put the business mission behind it, we are responsible is all these things that we are talking about tonight. And it's just humanity, so the question about where I stand in my spirit and where did I get it from? I got it from my parents probably and my community because that's where I was raised. But I'm still in my community and I'm able to build new ideas. I worked for a prison before. I could have ended up in the prison, but I ended up working for a prison. I'm a dental lab tech, and I used to practice dentistry, but I practice lab work now. I make prosthetic parts for humans. So,
Wow.
The question can keep going and going because we all are individuals and we got our impressions from individual places out here in the world. It's actually just bringing them all together and uniting how we think here. And we can call it all different types of names. But I think this right here, being able to communicate, is what we call dwelling in heaven together when we have.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Mr. Thomas.
No matter
We're
where
in the upper room right now. This is the upper room.
money we have, because we don't want to start throwing those things out there. Like when we start talking about those things like money, those things they aren't our spirit. That has nothing to do with, that's the world, that's the things that we have to survive on that makes us stronger. If we want to start talking about money, we can go, investment. I can do that. I had plenty of that and lost plenty of it. That's how you become richer in spirit, makes you richer in your pockets and everything else, So where I come from, you guys really don't want to know, but where I'm going, I would like to talk about that in the future.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I think you'll have an opportunity to say that because that's something that I think is going to come up.
Yes.
Sheila, you like to chime? We like to welcome Reverend Amani. Also came in, and Sheila and Reverend Amani, we're asking everyone these questions right here. If you can see it, the bottom. Any one of you two want to go next?
Welcome, Reverend Amani.
Thank you.
Sheila. So good to have you guys here. Thank you.
Hello. I'm trying to get in on my computer right now, but it's acting crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're here with you.
We can read the question to you.
Okay.
Okay. The question is, where do your beliefs come from? And which beliefs do you feel have influenced you the most?
Oh, my. My beliefs mostly came from my grandma because she wasn't really religious. She was spiritual. And she didn't believe in going to church. And this was back in the 60s when she was raising me. She raised me from the time I was 5 years old to I was 11 because of the dysfunctional household I'd come up in. So she taught me a lot of things about the Bible. And she was actually the first one that told me that Jesus was not Caucasian. which really led to a lot of questions. So I attended church on and off, just to get some kind of guidance because I was lost. And then at the age of 17, I joined the Nation of Islam because I met my husband, who brought me in. And so a lot of the things they were saying made a lot of sense, but it was still so many questions for me. It was just so many questions. And I stayed in for 7 years. I followed it to the T. I prayed 5 times a day. I did all the stuff that I was supposed to do, and I'd eat pork, but I still felt this yearning inside that there was something more. So I went into Pentecostal, and that didn't teach me much. I got out of that immediately. And then in 2000s, I got into the Jehovah Witness branch of religion, and I stayed for like 8 years, which it was a very loving group. The only reason I stayed as long as I did, they were so loving and accepting of me. They did everything that they could to make me feel comfortable, but I was still empty inside. It was just that emptiness. It's got to be more. So when I became spiritually inclined to just learn everything about the universe, all about chakras, I didn't even know anything about chakras until like maybe 2013. I mean, I was just really like out there just trying to learn and find out what's going on in the universe and why am I feeling lost. So right now I'm on just a spiritual path, learning all that I can about the universe and about nature. And it's been a wonderful journey. And meeting people like you all have helped me a lot.
Amazing.
I say.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bobby. Sheila, thank you so much. Bobby,
You're welcome.
Bobby, I'm gonna get to you. Bobby, I'm gonna get to you. If you wouldn't mind, if you want to answer the question, and I want you to make the statement for everyone here. This is the reason I asked Bobby to make the statement is it's I have incorporated this statement into my life. Now it's
Right.
part of my beliefs. And I find it to be very valuable. It made an impression on my very soul. So, Bobby, would you please make your statement? And then if you want to share on where do your beliefs come from and which beliefs do you feel have influenced you the most, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, which one should I do first?
Make the statement.
Okay, all right.
Please,
Well,
please.
Well, I'm a lot of statements or quotes or phrases come to me that assist me spiritually and psychologically, to help me, balance myself. And this one came to me is because it helps me learn. It's like I tell people, I do not argue to be right. I debate to be enlightened.
Right. I like that.
That's great. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Most people just want to be right, even when they're wrong. But because I got another one, just because I'm passionate, that don't mean I'm accurate.
Woo!
Right.
If you hot and heated over something, that don't make it absolutely 100%, right?
I got one for you, Bobby, too. I got one.
All right.
For you, Bobby. Who wins in the debate?
Oh wow, that's powerful.
Right.
Who's ever an open vessel that's open to listen and receive?
Indeed, the winners of the debate are the ones who's listening.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay? Now that's all I'm gonna leave it. That's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead. But go ahead.
I have one I want to share. That I like to say, which is, I don't want to be right. I want to be correct.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah.
So may I say something about the debate one?
Okay.
Yes.
From experience, I've debated someone for 9 years. It was all debate based on, right, the whole internal universe. And what I've come to realize is that, you know what, at the end of the day, let's just share.
Yeah.
Let's just share.
I like that.
Just share with me in a manner in which I can understand. Speak my language when you're wanting to share. Because I feel like debate is almost like I'm speaking my language and you're going to come to my area to be able to understand me. And it's the same way for the person listening or the person gathering the information or saying the information. So I feel like after so much experience that I gathered from the perspective of debate, oh, give me someone that I can share.
Yeah.
Sharing
Yes.
is
Dialogue.
so it
Dialogue.
contains the universe, because when you're sharing, it's almost like you're allowing me to be part of you and I'm allowing you to be part of me, and we can definitely come to saying I don't agree with you, not because I'm disagreeing with you. It's simply because in my internal self, this is the way I'm seeing it. And it has nothing to do with you. And I feel like when we share in that manner, we're able to drop the vulnerability. We're able to literally, the message is heartfelt rather than this is my point and this is the way I see it. And if you look at it this way and if I look at it your way, but it's more like we can both look at it because now it's like part of us now.
Yeah.
Like what you gave me has become part of me, and what I've given you has become part of you. And now I can really go and reflect on it. And then I can come and debate with you. Right. And then I can come and be like, hey, you know what? Like I felt this, but let's dig into it a little bit deeper, right? But first share with me. Share. Because I feel like it allows so much more to occur. It allows the universe to really expand and really like hold you so tight when you're doing the sharing. That's just my
I dig that.
Thank you.
But
thank you for sharing.
Yes, thanks for sharing. Because what you said, kind of like what the gentleman I work with down there in Skid Row, OG Man said. He said we was down there walking down the Skid Row, and he said, "You know what separate us down here in Skid Row from most people inside LA?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "We share." He said, "That's what friends do. Friends share." So,
see, I find that sometimes we put labels on ourselves as a way of protecting ourselves. Right. And for me, I just want to share with everyone, to be honest with you, regardless if they're friends or not. I feel like if you're just, it's just, I guess, part of the expansion for me, the way I see it. I feel like if it's just to friends or family, or to just those that you trust, vulnerability, yes, I can understand that you don't go ahead and just be vulnerable everywhere you go, right? Like that's a boundary that you take care of. But I feel like information that we're giving to each other, what I find on the internet a lot is like some people are like, don't want to give out information, don't want to give out the knowledge because they think that they found it. You know, like you gotta tag me on no, you didn't find that information. Information is free, period. All knowledge is free. Don't put your name on it. You know, don't put your name on it because you didn't come up with it. Because you saying what you say, you might be saying it differently, but it took many people that you read about or that gave you the information for you to come to that point. And so therefore, I feel like knowledge is not to be tagged. Knowledge is not to be said, well, this person said, yeah, okay, they said it. But overall, it's information that everyone needs to hear it. Everyone.
Yeah, Lotus.
Everyone.
Lotus talking about Akashic. What she's talking about is Akashic.
And the Akashic records.
Yeah.
Akashic records.
Yeah. Everybody got access to it.
Right.
You just got to pull it down.
That's it. That's
it. You know, and it's a sharing part, because the moment we debate, all of a sudden there's that interpretation that you don't know and I don't know, and I'm here trying to get you to understand, to know something, and so all of a sudden the walls have come up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now you just become someone that I have to be careful And I have to watch, and I have to be like, right? I can't, it's like, I have to now like guard myself and make sure that the words that are coming out are exact. So it's somewhat also, it contains somewhat of manipulation in it, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on that level of wanting to win this debate, rather than share it because you have every right to know it. And because it's worked for me, this is what I'm doing. And I'm doing it from experience. So you can take it or leave it. There's no debating in it.
I agree with them.
I'm just, that's just, but it's at the same time, I get you. I enjoyed those years of debate. I did.
We need to move on though. We've been
Yeah.
everybody's
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I was gonna say, you know, are you ready?
Anybody else want to touch on this?
But I was gonna say this part on it. One thing I just started kind of looking up in the wording and stuff like. See, but one thing about me is I just figured out like the word idealist or optimistic, and also I'm a realist. And you know, I check out different words. I know we got different titles and everything, but there's a time and a place for certain things. Like you can't just share with everybody. And then sometimes you might can share. Sometimes it might be up for debate. So, but it is with me on the realism part, because like where I come from, I came from the Bible Belt, Arkansas. I was a Baptist and all that stuff. Then I went to a mixed Pentecostal. Then I went to the streets drinking, and I've been out of psych units, and then been in shelters. Then I heard got homeless. So I've been around from Scientologists, scientists, and psychiatrists, and all these type of different religions and stuff. And where I found my true spirituality was right there on 6th and San Pedro. Spirituality, when it started coming up to me, when it dawned on me, wait a minute, you know, I came with the idea I want to start advertising for people that's doing real action in the community. And then I really seen the true spirituality when it came to me. I was at the 26th floor of City Hall with OG Man and General Jeff and a whole bunch of other people up there. It was an award ceremony. And I was up there and I was seeing all that. I had a flip phone. I'm taking pictures and doing video. And I'm up here going like, at that very moment, I said, I'm supposed to be here right now. I'm supposed to know these people. I didn't know who exactly who they were at the time, but when I was homeless, like I was placed to be in certain situations, certain environments to meet so many people that I met. Because I've been homeless from here to San Jose to San Francisco and back to LA. But I met those people that I met physically, and I know them. We be on Facebook, we talk and stuff and everything. So like when I come on the spiritual side, but I think all of it works hand in hand together. Because like, you know, when I was an alcoholic, I used to hate going to AA because after AA, I wanted to get drunk because it didn't work for me because I had to keep telling myself, I mean, it was cool on the spiritual aspect, but you got to keep telling yourself, hey, my name is so-and-so, I am a so-and-so. Repeating it.
I couldn't get that one.
I was squirming when I go to AA, going like, as soon as I leave, I'm going to the liquor store because I'm telling myself I'm there. So a lot of things have to do with wording, and like I said, a lot of things are psychological to the point where, like, I talk to certain people who they hold on to every word a person says. To me, I would never trust nobody 100% because I don't trust myself 100% because I'm imperfect. So when people come at you with aggression, you know, like when I went through different churches stuff, but when a preacher comes up to me talking about, I know that I know that I know that I know, I'm still gonna ask one more question. How do you know? You know, why should I let your words dictate me? So as far as the spiritual side, that's why I started really digging deep. Because when I was out there living in and on the streets, I seen other people out there doing worse than me. And my heart went out to them while I was homeless. So, and like I said, when you're out there, a lot of the big wigs be talking, but a lot of words trickle down to the people that's on the streets too. So that's why I seen the true reality of life was living it as real as it gets. You know, it's been so many different situations, predicaments. So, and when I say like when me and Ray met, we knew it was something. We knew it was something. And then, like I say, I made quotes and phrases for the year that's coming. Like last year, I made it for 2021. It was 2021, time to overcome. Financial literacy and wealth building. That's what I'm about. And that's what I want my vibe, my aura to bring. Well, that's what's happening. That's what's it's happening right now. And I'm working my word. I almost said it. I'm working on quit saying the word try. I guess I'm trying not to say the word try. So I'm working on getting that word out of my vocabulary, because I know words has a lot to do with things. So I want to work on bonding with the right people so we all come together. Like I say, your strengths can work with my strengths, and we can all help each other with our own weaknesses.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, but the Bible, I mean, everything works. But I was at Scientology one day, they had all multicultural faith and everything in there. And one person said something to me that made sense. It said all religions has to do with God, because what it is man trying to put the God in a box to fit.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So I believe in everything. I believe everybody's right to their certain point, because everybody got their own reality.
That's right. Hey, perceptions of reality. That's the title.
Perception of reality. like I said, when you see people talking on the street, we see people on the streets talking. People say they're talking to themselves. They're looking at somebody.
Yeah.
We don't see them. They're talking to somebody.
Real to them.
Yes.
I know, Bobby, wherever I've seen you, it's like that's your being, that's your state. When I saw you at the club over there, and Sister, oh boy, Lady Dread was performing with, so I saw it was 2019, but I had been following you and seeing everything that you had displayed, and it was just fascinating. It was great to see. And that the fact that you travel to different communities, it was great to see. So yeah, when you do those things, it's like you're being a part of it. It's like, I can see that. I see that in your work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, but I know that it's a God-sent spiritual thing. And I say, but I had this other guy who put me up on game kind of when I first got to rehab. His name is Simeon Ducksworth. He couldn't read and write, but he educated me. He told me.
He's very educational.
It's called oral. Oral history.
Oral education.
Yes. He put me up on game, because I was out there homeless, sleeping on the bus. And he was telling me, Buck, you be all right. You're going through this to be able to help other people.
Yep.
I'm like, man, I sleep on the bus. What are you talking about? But
it's an experience.
It was an experience. It was a spiritual journey. And
you know what, Bobby? I want to add to that. The name Simeon Duckworth. When you said that, it I don't know, something happened. I don't know, like that person could have been an angel for you or something.
Wow.
He was.
You know, because that name Simeon Duckworth is just,
unusual.
I'm very unusual. And it's not to mention that you said he couldn't read or write, but he taught you the game of life.
Yeah.
So
survival.
There's a big difference between wisdom and intelligence.
Well, he was very wise to be the age he was.
Yeah.
And he could just about spit any kind of knowledge to you, even though he could not read or write. Because he used to tell me certain things, and he was like, Shauna, get it right, girl. He would put me in check.
That's proof. That was a divine being y'all met. That's beautiful, y'all. Hey, that's a ring bell. I don't know. I'm just. It's not saying that I'm anything or nothing. It's just that the name Simeon Duckworth, and then you explaining this, it's something in my conscience said we need to focus in on this point right here. So
yeah, he was a spiritual being.
You combined it. You just multiplied it by even you knowing him as well and speaking the same thing. Hey, Simeon Duckworth. May he wherever he's at, may he be abundant and
see what he told me. Well, right. Well, he resting in peace right now.
Rest in peace, Simeon.
Okay. Yeah, rest in peace.
Yes. And see what he told me.
Ancestors. He's probably back here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And see what he had told me is his mother was a preacher.
We're
So
gonna
she
let
read,
say,
to, she read to him the Bible. Then when he was locked up in the penitentiary, somebody read to him the Willie Lynch.
Oh yeah, syndrome.
And because he's an ex-gang member. So then when somebody read to him the Willie Lynch, he started getting hostile to my army. I gotta go, we gotta take care of these white folks out. Then he said it was old school. He said, no, young boy. He said, I read it to you for you to see your part. You're playing.
Right.
Then he said, wait a minute, I'm the KKK. He said, now you get it. So
Not
that's
really.
so that's what he said. That's what changed him.
Wow.
From when I be doing the gangbang. He said when somebody read to him, explained to him the Willie Lynch letter. Then he said, so my mom being a preacher and the Willie Lynch letter, that's what pulled them together.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was just the first slide, folks. Wow. We put out some no, I ain't gonna even say meat. We put out some nutrients.
Right.
Put out some great nutrients.
Well,
so do I roll to the next one or what's that?
yeah, I'm looking at the slides.
The slide?
And the slides.
Slide.
Oh, the slides. I just said the fly. I didn't say the fly. I said, where the fly at?
It's my teeth. It's my
No,
teeth.
I heard slide. I heard slide. Ray got that bell. He's ringing.
What about the slide? What about the slide?
I just need some denture cream.
Oh, you know, I got some potty grip.
Oh God.
You
What
don't
were you
need
saying about?
see me. You don't need that.
I don't use the potty grips either. I can't wait to see you,
give
dentist.
some advice.
At the millennials see this show, they're gonna say, "What are they talking about?"
Well, we're just preparing them for the future.
You got to Google that.
Let's keep it real. This is what happens.
That's right.
My advice is let's make it through the meeting right now. Let's just go.
Okay. All right.
Well, see, you got a description.
Let's not lose any teeth, guys.
Next slide.
This is the meeting.
Already done. So I was looking at the slides and I go ahead and go to the second if you wouldn't mind. Okay, so if you don't mind, I would like to read them, these next three slides, because there's so much of what we're saying and sharing that segues to the third one.
Okay, I got you.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So what you believe about who you are, where you came from, affects your whole worldview. Do you believe that what you understand to be true today is from what you have learned in this life? Next slide, if you wouldn't mind. Do you believe that it's possible that you came into this particular life with these beliefs and that you are continuing in your soul's earthly education? Next slide. We can go back to them, but and now this is the one that, for me, what I've heard so far is putting them all together. It's a question, and or do you think that you've picked this life experience, a different point of view, belief system, to make your earthly sojourn more balanced so that you would have more empathy for other souls you have incarnated into this realm of existence with? It's a lot to take in, but I think that all three together.
Read it again, please.
Okay. Or do you think that you've picked this life to experience a different point of view, belief system, to make your earthly sojourn more balanced so that you would have more empathy for other souls who have incarnated into this realm of existence?
That's beautiful.
Okay. Wow.
We got to ring the bell on that one.
Yes.
Hey, come on, that's a good one. That's, just thinking about something like that, right there, that's evolution. It's evolvement.
Well,
Right.
what I've been hearing is everybody has their point of view.
Indeed.
And for me, I have the right point of view. I'm living the life that I feel that is right for me. I don't know what's right for anybody else. And I've been a counselor for 40 years.
Ring
I
the bell
have
right there.
I've been studying for 50 years. I came from a background of horrific abuse, different belief systems, from the mafioso who believed in killing people if he got pissed off at you, to the pedophiles, to the Christians who were Bible thumping and people beating. Um, the atheists that I came into contact with, the killers, the drug dealers, the nuns, the homeless, my own experience, and then the experiences of people that I have been blessed to counsel, listen, and give them information. And I am not, and I say this when I'm doing consultations, is I am not invested in what you do with the information I give you. It's up to you whether you feel it's valuable or not. It's up to you whether you think it's tools, aspects of life that you can utilize or not. Your life is between you and my particular belief system is between you, God, not me, God, not you, God, in my opinion. Not my perception of reality. Your journey is yours. Can I share, Lotus? Can I share
Yes.
my understanding of reality, and without judgment for anybody else's idea of reality? Can I just share and let it be? Because I
Yes.
know the life I'm living. I know
Mm-hmm.
the one that I'm living is right for me. And what I've learned is I particularly am never going to want to stop getting information from others, because that's how I have learned to change to be a better me. Not be a better you, not judge anybody else, but to be a better me, because it's my journey. If I can help anybody, great. If I can't, that's okay too. So,
Yes.
who wants to go back and do it? read anything, or make a statement about anything?
Who's gonna go first?
I'll go first. I'll make it quick. I promise. You know, really thinking about it, I think the only reason we came here is to just love ourselves. And if we are if we are living in what we would call like some type of a hologram, then then what we're projecting is everything that we don't love about ourselves. And so I believe that we're here to literally, because we're projecting, because those are right? Like if we believe in reincarnation, the strongest traits usually are the ones are the emotional traits are the ones that follow you through the loop, because it's memory, and memory pretty much is extensional, based all through our DNA, right? We have that 6 million year DNA inside of us, and so therefore I believe that we come through over and over until we truly are able to sit back, look at the world and be like, God damn, I'm so in love with it. Regardless of what's happening, regardless of what they might be doing to us, regardless of any of that, you just sort of get yourself to just absolutely love the world, because that's it's a selfish thing, you would say. It's selfish to believe that you're here in this planet just so you can learn to love yourself, and therefore may the hologram that you create will love you back. I think that's all it is. I think that's all it is. I think it's we all are here as pretty much in a very selfish yet expansive and inclusive state of being, to where we have determined to ultimately love ourselves. And so we come here over and over, projecting everything that we don't like ourselves based on that situation that we chose to pick. And it's pretty much okay. Let's see how much of yourself you're going to love yourself you're going to love. And then in the next round, you get to go at it again. In the next round, you get to go at it again until little by little, eventually you're no longer a fragmented piece, but a whole piece. And you're looking at the universe and the world as a whole. And you're finally within yourself as a whole. And there is no more separation. And there's only an exhale of relief that you're not alone.
You're not alone. We're not alone.
We're not alone.
We're
not
together.
alone. We're not
That's a
alone,
real
and there's
ringer right
nothing
there,
to
boy.
fear.
Yeah, it's
right?
beautiful.
Anybody else want to
No.
chime in on those? I don't want to bring, give us some thoughts, some feedback.
I'll say something. Empathy. I've been dealing with that a lot with myself in this place that I am, my new choices. And I think, first of all, thank you for having this platform and always leaving it open. I think the experiences that me and you personally are having with each other now is helping me understand all of these things that I probably already knew, but language barriers. And I think that's what this empathy thing is. It's humans, we have these language barriers that we have to overcome. And I think that's what's happening. And if we can just center here like you're doing now and then explode this outward, then maybe we could it starts with us and then we take it to another place. First of all of this is different because being I guess you would call it sensitive, personal like this as a man, I wasn't taught this. I wasn't showed to tap into certain sides of yourself to show this side. I know who I am. This is not a feminine thing. This is just as being a man now. And in these days and times, we need to learn how to communicate on this side where I think we're all saying the same thing, but in different languages. We're speaking in different languages because we come from different platforms, different places. And I appreciate you guys.
Hey, brother.
That's what I get from this right here. It's just a real good experience that should happen more often. Empathy for ourselves.
Ashe.
I was going to say, I seen something very interesting. It was on Instagram about being an empath and narcissist. And they were saying both come from having some dark issues, but they handle it differently. So,
Yes.
Yes.
What we're really talking about here, I believe, is just plain old simple childhood traumas.
yes.
And I think when it comes to our communication, what happens is that whether we like it or not, attraction is based on our childhood traumas. That's the way we all attract one another. That's just the bottom line. We're all living from that subconscious. Consciously, we're only awake a very small percentage. Everything we do is subconscious. So we haven't taken the time to really tap into those core wounds that we might be experiencing as adults. It gives a really good idea of why we might be attracting certain people. You know, what we call love could just simply be an attraction of two people having opposite child core wounds. And when you bring them together, it alleviates the child core wounds, but it doesn't do anything to the adult. It leaves the adult drained and unknowing and unsure. So I think when it comes to communication, a lot of times we're unable to communicate with one another because we haven't really communicated with ourselves. We haven't really taken the time to ask ourselves the questions we're willing to ask other human beings, and sit there and literally come to that conclusion of, okay, like I have to deal with this person. This is the person that I've become. So let me deal with this person. And so as we clear those child core wounds, I find that the clarity that comes through is it's so sweet, because you can actually communicate with people once you don't have these little inner kid voices coming out at you trying to protect yourself, because that's the bottom line. As we meet each other, you're not meeting a healthy adult, 46, 50, 60-year-old adult. You're meeting a little kid. Literally, you are. And if that adult hasn't dealt with their inner child core wounds, that's who you will be meeting. That's who you're going to be having a relationship. That's who you're going to be talking to. That's who you're going to be your business partner with. And so I feel like a place like this allows all of us to be able to tap into those things. Not necessarily, let's say, the child core wounds, but definitely takes us into questioning that deeper level in which most of us are not willing to go into, because it is it's a very draining place, very tiring, very draining. It's very lonesome, and it's scary, and most people don't want to go in there. But once you do, and you just dive right in, and you eventually you get through it, you realize, oh shit, a lot of times it's not them, it's us. We don't know how to communicate because we don't know our own needs. We don't know our own boundaries. We don't know us personally, right? And so every morning,
I want to get in right quick. Hey, I want to bookmark this. I want to bookmark this. Yeah, this is
sorry, I took
principle that I done popped up
No,
with.
this is good.
The
This
second
is
principle, the
beautiful.
first principle was mirror eyes, the concept of looking through mirror eyes, someone is you, right? And the other one, it popped up, it came to me by listening to us speak about empathy. So we do need to have to understand and know that there is a language of emotions. So, just thinking about the emotions and how you come across to people. So there's a language all in that. Because I'm hearing that we're all speaking about a language. So there's many different types of language. You can use your language with your voice and also use your language with your body movement. Combine those two to get the just outcome that you're trying to get. So that's just a bookmark for myself, and I wanted to constantly say that collectively about emotional language. There is a space for emotional language to relieve emotional trauma. That's the relieving of that trauma. So we have to understand that there's a language.
Wow, that's so powerful. I'm just.
Ray,
I'll go ahead.
Yes.
Ray, the words you said, the mirror eyes, that is basically what this last question is about. Do you think that you've picked this life to experience a different point of view belief system to make your earthly sojourn more balanced so that you would have more empathy for other souls who have incarnated into this realm of existence?
I got you.
Do you remember when you asked me what the subject matter was going to be for today? I said semantics.
Yeah, you did.
That was the word I used.
Yeah,
semantics. And I want to just uh, to acknowledge Lotus
right.
And the same moment is saying that in treatment and therapy and counseling, there are terms that are used. Now, the one term that is used very often with anybody, most people, is called arrested development.
Yeah.
The term is used almost not exclusively, but across the board for most people on the planet in a body, doesn't matter what their culture is, from indigenous people in the jungle to high-tech people, we have a certain amount of arrested development. It's from our understanding of reality, and a lot of people would agree with that term, and then some people would not. Again, what we're doing here is we're sharing our ideas of reality. It does not mean that the ideas that we're sharing are going to be correct or for someone else experiencing their life differently, different beliefs for them.
But there's a commonality that we all tie together. This is why we connect in the dots. I
Right.
Love it.
I got you. I got you.
They connected.
Connected. I
Connected.
feel that.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Our hearts and souls are all connected.
Indeed.
Whether we're close in the same household or thousands of miles away, we are connected. Our soulfulness is connected. And we're each here to do the best we can according to the understanding of reality we have today. We may be different next week. I know I will be because of what I've learned today.
Yes.
There you go. That's
Absolutely.
what I'm talking about.
Can I just add to this? May I just
what you
add
got to get what
to
you
what you
need?
just said, Marilyn? You just were talking about the heart, and it's funny because today, throughout one of my meditations, what I realized is that you can just visualize that person or those situations, and I realized that you can take the thoughts and filter them through your heart and throw them at whatever situation that you want. At least that's what I come to experience. And what I also realized is that you don't need to have even though you love people, you might not like them.
Right.
And even though you might not, and because you don't like them, there could be guilt behind that. Yet if you could get through the guilt and realize that you could still send them as much love and as much energy through your heart and they'll still receive it, it's such a relief. It's such a relief because then you realize that you can love people, but they don't need to be around you and they then don't need to be near you, but you can definitely just send them so much love and you know they'll transcend and they'll receive it in one way or form or another. And I think for a lot of people, that's a relief because sometimes we don't want to be close to those people that we don't like at the moment. And so I think as a healing tool, that's really beneficial because the guilt makes people do things they don't want to do, right? That guiltness. But yet I realized, okay, I don't necessarily want to do this task, but if I just take this task that I don't want to do and I transcend it into a visualization where I could just love it from where I'm at, then eventually it will transcend into that which is its natural self, which is just love. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I wanted to say a little about that. I had gotten to a state where someone said to me, you know, that it's not important for everybody to love you. That's what you're not here for. You're just here to be present and do what it is that's available and what you discern is possible. but not here to make people love you. You know, it's giving love, but not necessarily getting it back.
That's yeah.
That's reciprocity.
That's true. I just want to piggyback off of what you just said, Sakari, because I have the thing where, like I said a little earlier, I'd love to just love everybody. I love everybody. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, like seriously. I mean, regardless of who you are, what you look like, it just comes natural for me. But I also learned that sometimes I was giving too much love and empathy, but not really giving it back to myself.
Yeah.
And so thus I created an imbalance. Okay. And then I had a lot of inner healing and patchwork that I would have to do to try to bring myself back, and then not wanting to get bitter, and I'll just say overall, just to answer the question, I feel that I don't understand it all now, but I do know that for me, for my experience, for my perception of reality, I do feel that we were here to really step into understanding what love is and its many facets. It's not just a sexual thing. It's not just mom and dad and grandma and grandpa type of love, but really developing the ability to love all people. I want to say in the Godship that we've been, I want to say, awarded for this experience. And because we haven't tapped into a lot of the potentiality and the access that we really have, a lot of it is because we don't know. And right now we're learning. And I feel like when you're open to learning and you're open to loving and start bringing things into order, I just feel like then you can take off and explore the depths of I want to say, your divine self in this earth realm. And I do feel like it's supposed to be experienced beyond, the areas of life that's familiar to us, or the people, places, and things that are familiar to us. But I feel like if you can't get the prejudices out of you, if you can't get looking down on someone because they're different from you, just say their sexual orientation or their religious beliefs, you're not loving. Okay, already you've cut off love. So there's only so much you're gonna experience. And then I feel like there's only so much far that you're going to go with your interior work that you have to do, because it's dark, because now you've put in parameters around what love looks like. And as I've said to a lot of my, I've said this to Ray many times in our personal conversations, and I've said this to other girlfriends that I speak in depth with, I feel like a lot of times we say we have empathy, but then when people want to love us, we want to close off letting this person love us because it doesn't look a certain way, or we want it to feel a certain way. Okay. And when it doesn't look like that, or I want to be with the in crowd, I want to be with prophetess such and such, I want to be with the main people. And then there's like 10 people around you that's like, oh, well, I just want to be her friend. And they can't get to you because you're looking at someone who's not even looking at you. So you miss love from 10 people trying to get to this one person. And so I feel like that really limits, your capacity to have empathy. It limits your capacity to really go and do the inner subconscious work, because already you've decided this is what love looks like, because that is your perception of reality, and that's okay. But today I feel like, Marilyn, I thank you for setting up the stage for this discussion. And I feel like right now barriers have been broken. And so I just feel like now, I feel like all of us, when we walk away from here tonight, we're going to see love on a different level. We're going to see empathy on a different level. We're going to see our perception of reality on a different level. And I guarantee you that a lot of judgments and hate or stand backage that you have, you're not going to have anymore, because you can't say that this wasn't spoken to you. It came naturally just through us sharing organically from love, from trust, because this is a very heavy conversation. And I'm just glad to be a part of it. And I'm going to leave it there so someone else can speak. Thank you.
I'm kind of shocked some of the brothers ain't speaking up more, because this is a woman's world right now. I don't know what y'all feel out there, but
Go ahead,
I was raised by a woman, and my father too. I don't know if you guys follow me, but I got both my parents in my life still, but they were separated, and it was confusing, and it was all backwards and all that kind of stuff. So the intimacy of love and how you get it, it may have come from different perspectives. But I'm saying, just because I didn't come from your side of town, and you didn't come from my side of the town, don't mean that we didn't think alike, or we didn't have the same likeliness. Is because really this community right now in more of today's world was built up on economics. And you was put into the position in life, even if your parents was what they call bougie back in the day, you still was at a certain level where you didn't get so much information put inside of you. So all of these different theories are thinking you're better, or even knowing what the word narcissistic is, or being, you gotta know what these things really are to you before you can actually, because if you've been through more experiences in the world than another person, or seeing, like my brother Bobby, I don't know if you can, it's like I've seen you before, I'm not sure, but your experience was like-minded because I've seen it and I felt it.
Okay.
I may not have been in those positions that you've been in, but my brother, the way that you view life, I get your natural humbleness. You're not sitting back, not expressing yourself intelligently too. I'm excited about a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but the fact that you can't throw everything on the table to somebody because they'll feel like, oh, you're trying to give too much just because God has made you great. Well, damn it, God has made me great. Well, okay.
Start giving.
That's right.
I'm good with that.
Sharing. Share.
Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me because I'm confident enough to hold myself anywhere I go, wherever I stand, because my mama made me that way, if you want to say, because she wasn't going to take nothing less. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
So these things right here, I'm starting to realize that my vulnerabilities were a misconception. Right. Because I was handled by a wrong-ass man-minded man back in the day, where we went through struggles and couldn't handle our struggles. So today, wealth looks different on me. Not money, but wealth-minded, meaning that I'm prosperous from coming through where I come from. And we're the brothers out here, we're starting to try to talk about these types of things more. I would just like to see us bring more of our personalities to the floor. Like the women out there, man, they're talking. You see how they get up, they done got pearls on their face and stuff. They doing all this stuff. But this is the thing that we were put into this position long time ago, where we could not express ourselves and not feel so vulnerable about these things. So we got to stand up. So I hope you guys hear me, brothers. why you
Talk about it.
I'm sorry, I have to laugh. They ain't talking to me, so I'm looking to laugh.
Actually meet up with these women and be as happy as they are, and they not suppress our happiness, and we go, and that's why, you know, I'm getting out of cursing. Thank God. I'm sustain myself because I know I'm not perfect. But we meet in a group every Friday. Every Friday for the last 8 months. It's been consistent.
8 months?
8 months.
Damn, we've been going strong, huh?
Now they say in 3 months, your whole life can change and you can be a whole completely different person.
Man, I get you.
We done did 8 months. And what these brothers didn't realize that came to the table is that they went through this process of going through a community change with me. That's what I do, bro. You might not like me, it don't matter, but there's a science to this moving and changing communities. Miss Marilyn, I may have seen you in a couple of meetings before. Kim Anthony may have came to mind, and a couple of people. But when there's power on the table, you're supposed to know how to communicate. Some cats, don't get comfortable enough to do that because they gotta keep showing their bouginess. And they go into all these words. Look, I was dyslexic, but I made it through dental school, okay? I became the president of my dental class. That's not bragging. That's thanking God because I didn't know how to read. And I learned bigger words by pressing myself and not giving up and understanding what, and not just in one language, in more than one language I learned. And not just in teeth, your oral cavity, I know about the whole human anatomy. If I was to ask you what is an eponychium or a hyponychium, what would you tell me? You wouldn't even know what that was on your body part, but it's your fingernail part. Okay? I'm just saying, if we was to go into semantics, then we won't understand what these words are. So let's not continue to pontificate over things that we actually need therapy on. You know,
you stop that, man. You stop.
No pontificating now.
No, keep on going, man. Keep on going.
Let's participate for real, and let's really talk about this. And don't come around my circles looking at us, but really participate with us.
Get with it.
Ashe.
Oh, can we get your information while you pontificating? I need to know you.
You can actually Google my name, Shantae Thomas, if you like.
Thomas.
Or you can Google warpla.org and you can find out everything about me.
No, I need to come up and see if you take my medical stuff. Okay, that's outside of this. Okay.
Okay.
See,
I work along with the UCLA dentist students, and they have pods in different places.
Yeah, I know.
So we will. I mean, whatever insurance you take, and then I do stuff myself. You know,
that's what I want. I want you. I want you.
Oh, you don't. Not trying to be arrogant, but you don't want to pay for me. You don't know.
I mean,
no. I'm on Medicare. I'm on Medicare.
No, but see, that's what I'm. See, that's why I practice to refer. I practice to refer people. Okay. And then when I'm doing cases, I don't feel bad about doing these cases because I spend my time doing them.
Okay, you know, Shantae, what now? Yeah, because I need whatever you have to offer. I got to change my dentist. I love him, but he's no good right now.
I don't practice dentistry anymore, but I am a lab tech. I will refer you to my friends. Wonderful. And I referred plenty of friends. Ray will tell you he's came. Well, we won't talk about that dentist. She's eliminated. But we will talk about the platform of dentists that are out there in South LA right now, through UCLA, through USC, through community services, through even China, their foreign aid. They have services that are free, and we just bought a mobile dental lab, so we're on our way to come and help you.
Cool. Hey, I kind of need that lab work.
In closing, we're gonna push for us. If anybody else got any questions,
I'm sorry, I have nothing.
No. But this is where we at. If you see the backdrop, every Friday at 2:00. Do y'all recognize where that's at? Yeah. That's on Vermont and Exposition.
We changing communities around here, bro. It's a blessing. We are.
Down.
I love your background.
That's where we at, right there.
Yeah.
But now, anybody want to tackle this one because we got another slide.
Okay, the last one coming up.
Okay. Oh.
Were you gonna do that? That.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. I want to say something before we say anything else. Has anybody seen this movie? Oh my goodness.
Which one?
So, it's called Soul.
Not yet.
Oh, y'all need to watch this movie.
Yeah, it's powerful.
And then watch this movie, and then next Thursday I guarantee y'all gonna say we're gonna be talking about this movie. This is a beautiful movie. It goes on. It's the transition of death, the different existences and dimensions and concepts, and they go everywhere with this. They go everywhere with this. It's a good, I would say, research tool. The way they got it mapped out because it's in a movie format, but certain stages that we go through. You know, I know that through meditations that I've reached certain stages that they talked about in this. You know, so this is a good movie. It's about, I ain't gonna say too much about it, but this guy right here, he died. Is about death. And I think I told you, Shantae, another movie, The Wave. I asked you to watch The Wave.
Oh, that's a good one too, you guys. The Wave.
Man, these are movies that's gonna open up your understanding to a more expansive understanding of reality and of yourself and the
I think we should have movie night. We should have a movie night where we can get together.
That's cool right there.
Can I just bring a screen up to the park, and can we just all watch the movie at the park, man?
Well, spring is coming up, so
Yeah, even maybe late spring or something, but it's cold.
I mean, they got tents for rain. I'm not scared of the rain.
Okay.
Well, we are.
Well, unless you don't want any women coming, we won't be hanging out there.
We're not going to be doing that. Don't be giving us no wet rain movie now.
I used to be married. I forgot. You're right.
But you know, movie night can still happen on a Zoom call, and the person, you know, whoever's facilitating the call can still project the actual
movie.
Movie, that would be
sit
fun.
back and you can sit back and watch it.
Movies,
right? Yeah,
because you can even, if you have one of those I don't know, these systems, those I forget what you call them, fire sticks. You can you can have the whole Zoom on that.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to add one thing before you hit the link. Okay. I just want to just add that this movie Soul is not, it's about, you know, he's dying, but he died, excuse me. But it's also about your life, your going on with your purpose. And then you just it gives you kind of a possibility of things that happen when you're out of your body or in a different state of living, and the different beings that actually come to help and assist through our processes. And I was going to say, and it really tied into Marilyn's topic, and that was the only reason why we were sharing it, because it touches it in all its facets. And, you know, just like when you think you perceive reality one way, you see it through a different lens, and then you see yourself being out of your situation, looking in, which helps you grow. So it's a myriad of things. It's a beautiful movie, and I'm so glad that we got to see it. But here's the clip, and I don't want to hold this, but go ahead. I just wanted to share that part of it.
Okay, so I got to exit out of here to make sure that it's going to do the right thing I wanted to do.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
There you go.
Sakari, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just having some issues today. Thank you. I didn't realize it was visible.
It's okay. I almost ended up in the hospital yesterday because of mine. So I'm super sensitive to that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Y'all see that?
Okay.
What is this place? What's your name, honey? I'm Joe. I teach middle school band.
I don't see it.
I can hear it, but I don't see it.
Yeah, we're just
something is going.
It's not on any screen.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, I'm not picking it up. Oh, there you go, right there.
Okay. Here you
go.
I'm brand new.
Okay, now this is a clip of it. Now it's gonna make you want more. It is. This is a
Yes.
pretty good movie. You would like
It's such a good movie.
Yes, it is. Here we go. What is this place? What's your name, honey? I'm Joe. I teach middle school band. Honey, go for it. Today started out as the best day of my life. That means 9 first shows is second. Yeah! Woohoo! You know what that's gonna say? Joe Gardner. I did it. I got the gig. Must have been something for you. What? Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Different stages of dimensions. Huh? Is this happening? No, it's the Great Before. This is where new souls get their personalities, quirks, and interests before they go to Earth. Me, 22. Stop my TV. Hey, look, I already know everything about Earth, and I don't want anything to do with it. You're missing out on the joys of life, like pizza. I can't smell. We can't taste either. All that stuff is in your body. No smell, no taste, or touch. See? Okay, I get it. Wow. All right. Is all this living really worth dying for? You're still alive? Can you help me get back? No way! There I am. What are we waiting for? Wait, not me! This week, what is it? 151,000 souls going to the great beyond every day. No sound is a single one of them. The count off. Huh. That was the little clip. This is a movie to be watched, I would say. To be watched and look at it with an open mind, and you will say yes that it was a good movie, guaranteed. That one, if you watch that one, and it's a lot of The Wave. Wow, especially The Wave is wow, one of the wild movies. And yeah, this is very, very interesting movie.
All right, I'll check it out. I seen it promoted, but I didn't know what it was about, so I just
yeah.
There's this one last slide. Marilyn, your last slide.
Okay, I'll just say it out loud. So I want to just clarify that this whole thing, oops, where'd my slide go?
There you go.
The whole purpose of this was to encourage everybody to acknowledge just how much you have done to come to this point in your existence. So the question is, what do you want to learn and or teach from your life sojourn on Earth? What is the purpose of life through the lenses of your perception of reality?
Oh.
Wow.
We can write a book on that. Everybody can write a book on that. This was great.
Did I see you raise your hand?
Huh?
Shauna, did I see you raise your hand?
Okay, I mean, pick on Shauna, but that's okay.
Ow!
I saw your hand raised, Shauna.
You did? Okay, here
it was moving then. It was just moving.
Wow. Okay, if I could say, looking now, it would be to create a healthier Earth. Because we poison our bodies with the foods and the things that we take into our body. We don't even realize using cleaning solutions. We're poisoning our bodies. So if I could teach anything, it would be how not to poison your body so we can live a long, healthy, happy life.
Ooh, Ashe. Amen to that.
They'll read on that one.
That's so real.
Kinda
Thank you.
love on that one.
We kind of need to go back to some of our roots. You know, our ancestors used to grow their food. You know, that was organic. We got it from the dirt. We need to learn how to, even though we're living in maybe smaller quarters, there's ways we can grow our rosemary and our sage in our homes and in our balconies and in our windows. And we need to learn how to go back to that so we can put our bodies where they need to be. Our bodies was made to heal itself and not put these poisonings in our bodies that these doctors are giving us. And I can say that I am a Black woman living with lupus. And the medicine that they want to give me, the side effect is blindness. Well, I want to see my grandkids grow up. I want to see what my children are doing. I want to see things. So what do I do instead of putting those poisons into my body? What did I do? I researched what lupus was. I researched what the medicine was. I researched what I needed to do to put my lupus in remission. I had my lupus in remission for 3 years straight. The doctors thought I was taking their medicine.
Yes.
I am working on getting myself back to that. And I want to take people on that journey with me.
Let's go.
Yes.
There you go.
I'm roll.
Gee, Glenn. Be for real. I feel it in your voice.
Wow, that's great.
So,
That's great. Anybody else?
That's it.
Well, mine is short. Well, mine is short. All I want to do is want to be an instrument to inspire.
That's beautiful. Instrument to inspire.
I'll go.
Reverend Amadi, are you still here?
Huh?
Reverend Amadi?
He's still here. He's on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he probably got the man with him.
Okay. Miss Aurora Day?
Yes.
Okay, so will you answer the question as we close? We're also going to share what we want to learn or teach from our earthly experience and the purpose of life through our lens and perception of reality. And where do you stand?
For me, be on the consistent journey.
Consistent journey.
I like that.
How to do unto others as I would want others to do unto me.
Okay.
Amen on that one.
Yes.
How to see another person the way I want to be seen. How to accept another person the way I want to be accepted.
Well, I got you.
Yes.
Love another person the way I want to receive love. That's really, for me, the journey.
I dig it.
Yes.
I can dig it. Anybody else want to chime in?
I have nothing.
Oh, I can't believe that. Oh, yeah, come on.
I'm not done cooking, so I don't really like, honestly, like I'm thinking of that question and I'm like,
well,
I know what I have within me to give. I just don't think it's fully cooked.
Okay.
And so because it's not fully developed, I feel like to say what I would give is to sort of limit myself because I don't necessarily, I can visualize the wholeness of myself and I can see like where I'm heading to and perhaps, you know, visualize that individual. But for right now, I'm looking at it and I'm like, there's really nothing that I can do. There's nothing that I can say or do for anyone.
But be you.
But just deal with me right now. And I think I think that's what we don't realize. I think what we don't realize is that us healing ourselves, like you are making that change. Like when we choose to literally be like, okay, I'm sitting my ass down and I'm going to deal with all of this fragmented stuff. I think the moment we do that, I think that we've already shaken hands with the universe and said, okay, I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to do what you're telling me to do. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that we get to a point where you get tired. At least I did. I got tired. And
oh, yeah, that's true.
Looking at everything, I'm like, okay, I'm tired. And now
Yep.
I just see what the universe is telling me to do. And I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna go ahead and take care of me right now because that's what needs to happen. And most people don't want to do that. Most people continue to want to take care of others when they're not at the point where they can take care of them. They can take care of others because they're not really taking care of themselves.
Yep.
That's right.
And
That's right.
as selfish as it sounds, it's not.
Doesn't
Because if
sound
I am a
selfish. It's not.
healthy,
It
if
doesn't
I am
sound
a
selfish.
healthy, mentally
Doesn't sound
well,
selfish at all.
right? If you are healthy mentally, spiritually, like you are going to make such a huge impact on the world, more than you will ever know. And what that takes is sometimes to just take yourself and exclude yourself and take yourself out of this world for a moment and take a breather and really look in there and heal it, because that is actually healing the earth.
Yes.
As always.
That's what really heals the earth.
As always.
Our actions, yes. Our external actions, yes. But if you're not aligned, if you're inside, if your subconscious is not aligned with what you're doing on the outside, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how compassionate you are. If your subconscious is telling you, no, I need love right now, but you're out there giving love to everyone else, the universe is looking at you and saying, what are you doing to yourself? What are you doing?
As always,
I'm
you gotta,
loving
you gotta,
people.
you know, you going too much. You know, we need a little break. You know, we gotta,
Yeah,
we gotta take a breather. You know, so we can digest what was said. You know, we bring the bell a little bit.
So that's,
You know,
that's
okay. Now
where
go
I'm
ahead.
at.
We ready
I feel
now.
like, so okay, so pretty much like, I think that's it. It just comes down to that, man. It just comes down to I sounds selfish, and a lot of people will throw that at me. But at this point, I'm saying, you know what?
Yes, beautiful.
Let me finish my journey, and when I finish this journey, I will have made it possible for whatever you think is possible for you, because I made it possible for me.
Yes.
I just expanded a universe with making myself, right? That possibility. And now what I've done is I literally have pretty much gone through that dimension.
This for a minute. Wait, I gotta ring the bell on that. That's you got, okay. Don't, what she just said, hope it didn't just fly over your head, or am I the only one who kind of like, yeah, I really get what
I
you're saying.
comprehend.
You get it? You get what you're saying? You know, that, you know,
I think a few of us said yes.
Yeah, you gotta think about, yeah, I got you on that.
Now.
You know?
Yeah.
I really get you on that.
From my point of view,
you know,
that is so correct.
And I want to say this, Lotus. See, you are that inspiration for connecting the dots, deep thought and self-reflection. You bring that. You be, ever since we met. You know, when I first met you. You know, I was listening to, I'm like, wow, this woman is so little to be so deep. Wow, but you know, no, I don't, no pun intended. You know, beauty, you're beautiful, but it was just so, you know, such a tiny little petite lady that was so like a lion. You know, some of the things that you were saying, and it can go on forever. And I just want to ring the bell on that. You know, I really appreciate that. You know, bringing that kind of energy. We all can use it, because listening to you, just like we've been saying, we're throwing all our thoughts and emotions on the table, and we're sorting through it. And also we taking a self-assessment, but also people are also looking through the other stuff and they are seeing similarities in themselves and making stuff. So we all developing right here. We're all developing, we're all growing. And I want to say this too, and I'm gonna end. Every Thursday, I never said this, but every Thursday, I I really feel accomplished and inspired after every meeting was so uh uh, fulfilling and nurturing. And everyone was smiling when they leave. That made me feel good. So
Oh,
we are growing. We are growing.
yes, we have to. You're either gonna grow or you're gonna get dragged. Either
Yes,
way, you're growing.
indeed.
And I'm sorry, I was the one that got dragged. I was.
Now we coming
And
back to get you.
I could tell you now,
I think we all got dragged.
man, yeah, it's either you go willingly or you get dragged. Either way, you're going to the finish line, regardless whether you
Indeed.
like it or not, and that's the beauty of it,
That's
is that
right.
we're all gonna get there at our own timing. Yet it is very important to understand
That's
that
right.
how we get there is literally to heal ourselves first, to give yourself that love, to give yourself that your needs. Because in all honesty, there's no human that's ever going to supply all the needs that you need. And that's impossible to ever expect of any human being. And so we have to fill up our own buckets with our need of our finances, our family, expectation, all of those little parts of ourselves. And once we do that, I believe that once I finish on that part of myself, that love is going to look so different.
You know, what she says is like a song of melody that would come from an artist, because we all would like to say those things in so many words. They're very touching. I also would like to say, just continue this, because this is basically like open help, open therapy, or open, this is like really touching community, like we should be. Here are the ground floors. So these platforms, they actually do work, no matter what. So I'll just say that, man. Because really, all this emotional stuff, we're just gonna leave it for the politics and stuff like that. But let's just keep all of this 100, if we could, please. And
Absolutely.
hey, you need to go and write a book. You need to go
I'll
see.
to that. It is
So
100.
So when you write books and put this stuff down in forms like that, then it's able to carry through generations. And I can hold on to it for a moment, but if it was tapped into all of us, if we just gave a little bit of that, then I think that's continuous love.
That's very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Shantae, I wanted to let you know that when I was growing up, I went to school to the disabled students. I was dyslexic, autistic. I read upside down, backwards, wrote the same way. I left school at a very early age because of the craziness and the abuse. I was out working by the time I was 16. I taught myself mathematics. I taught myself how to read. I taught myself whatever it was that I was missing. And I went to Fordham University in New York City.
Yes.
And I was in the physics class and the science classes, and nobody knew that I didn't even have a high school diploma.
Wow.
They didn't know it. They didn't know it because I went to LA High at one point and that's when they had the earthquake. So when I went to apply to the university, I said my records were destroyed. And at 25 years old, after having been called an idiot savant because I could not learn the way they wanted me to, yet there were parts of my brain that were advanced, I got myself educated. I did that. You're doing it. You did that. So
Absolutely.
I admire that in anyone. It takes a lot of work.
I really appreciate that. For some reason in the universe, those things, I just needed to hear some words. You know, there's a lot on everyone today in the world, on all of us. And sometimes encouragement from any angle makes you just feel okay about it. So I appreciate you very much, and continue to wow, couldn't look at you and say that, couldn't listen to your language, your diction and say all of that. So we just don't know who we are until we expose those things. And that's what I'm saying about empathy and vulnerability. You know, that's why we need that female energy around us, man. You know, to actually show us how to partake in this type of stuff, because I couldn't say that to nobody like that. It would just feel funny coming out of me. It has nothing to do with, where I came from. It just wouldn't feel right, because I was raised a certain type of way to feel a certain type of thing, and I like it like that. Don't change me, just adapt with me. But that's when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, because the wife actually brings that side of him out that shows that it's a perfect match to the world. So she has to be as gorilla as I am. You just can't be, it can't, this spiritual walk is not just a talk. It is an actual walk through life by experiences. And you will know a real person that have been there is because it's not just a light. It's not just your light. It's how you come through darkness.
Yes.
So it's as problems. And that's what I'm going through now, just is
that's right.
I don't like using those words, humbleness, but with empathy comes all that, all those things. We got to start looking at all those different words and meanings that come behind these big, large words, So we are here. We are all here to heal our community, because we're starting with the community on the inside of us. And I was going to say to Lotus,
yes.
Don't trip. All those tears are deserved. They are supposed to be. Because, that's what we're called. That's what God is. It calls flushing out. You have to purify yourself again. And when you're in your most humblest state, when you don't have no understanding about what the next situation is, that's why I believe in a God, because there's no human on this earth that can take me through shit that I done been through, that a human experience have to no human can tell me about my own experience. So I'm just saying, so when you pour out, do those things, dig into the earth, teach a person about the lower side of the body and those things, how we deal with those lower energies versus the higher ones. I really, until you guys started coming around me, I was talking hood shit. I was running an organization. I'm running an organization that It's a mindset, okay? And so you got to keep it real. And so what you guys are saying now makes it realistic, because in politics, you have to like cover up all this stuff. You can't let someone know your vulnerability. So that's what brings power.
Yes.
Okay. So understand when you work it and how to work it. And that will bring you all those other gifts that you need.
So check this
That's
out.
just my way.
No, it's beautiful. Thank you. You know, I realized something, and as I go through this process of healing, I realized that like how emotions are looked at. And what I've come to understand is the deeper I dive into this, not just from the perspective of like a spiritual perspective, but literally understanding the psychology of the mind. And I think that most of us don't have that understanding of what it actually is doing, what it actually does, how it actually affects everything. And so what I've come to understand about my tears, what I realized about this is my tears are there as a form of an indication of what I'm telling myself is not true. That's my higher self sort of giving me an indication that's not true what you're telling yourself. That's why you feel hurt.
See, I always thought that came from my parents telling me, don't you cry, get up in that corner, shut up.
That's in your subconscious. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's why so all these things that are, we call it residue. We call it residue. So when you allow for, when you're healing and everything is boiling up from the bottom, it floats everything to the top.
Absolutely.
Start noticing all of this trickling dirt and all of this mucus floating at the top. And what a person has to do is pretty much just come get a big ass spoon, scoop it up, take it out of your cup, and let you start all over again.
Oh yeah.
Because the more you purify yourself, the more the impurities come out. So you have to, what we call growing up in adulthood is accepting them and then taking them where they are, and then allowing them to be a lesson to someone else. And then once they become a lesson, then you have transcend. You're going into your metamorphosis and you're not thinking about yourself no more. You're giving no more homage to yourself. You're just being, you're a being now, and you're a servant, what you're supposed to come here for, serving, to just give of what God has given to you over your time of being here and living and appreciating that shit, you know? So that's what I'm saying. Once our maturity level gets to a place where we're not pouring out, like this is our pour among us, we're family, but in the public's eye, we would cover you. You know what I'm saying? Because your knowledge along with that would be too much for, you know, for some
It's
souls.
too much for any human being. Of course it is. I completely understand that. It's a whole lot for anyone.
It's only because they don't know I know you. I'm talking like this. I would never talk to you.
Of course. No. All of it is taken with love. Like I said, there's definitely growth that needs to happen within me. And I think this is the fun part. I think the fun part is really coming to it and being like, yeah.
Well, I just want to
it's
Ray,
time, you know, to pull your pants up
and
and
Marilyn and Bobby and Sis, Alicia, all the members. Thank you guys for your time, because I didn't expect this really. I didn't. Miss Terry and Shayna, Adora, everyone is. You took this opportunity, and sheesh, you know. Yeah, I'm done.
No, you're not. You're not done.
You're good.
I'm gonna say this though. This is one of my other little acronyms. What everybody needs to do is work on YOU, and I say that's your own universe.
There you go. I like that.
your own universe. And that's what I had to do. I had to
like
work
that.
on me.
I really like that.
Yeah, because I had to work
I
on me
love it.
because I came here
love
13
that.
years ago. I came here 13 years ago,
Yes.
and this
Yes.
time I came here. This is another quote. I came here drunk off a Greyhound. So I told you I came here drunk with a dream until I tripped over my purpose. Man, I tripped over reality and found my purpose.
Wow. Wow. And by the way, I have 5 kids and 5 grandkids. So I've lived, you know, I feel like when you and all of my kids, my oldest is 33 and my youngest is 24.
Wow.
And my grandkids, my oldest grandkid is 12 and my youngest now is just 1, and I have 5 of them. So now I'm living my journey through these different experiences over again, you know? So if that's what understanding what legacy is, or even if I didn't have those kids as mine, because I didn't grow up as a parent that was in their lives. I'm still a father, but they weren't all with me, maybe 1 or 2 of them, you know? But back in the day, it was hard as hell, you know, getting through, you know, but no one, I'm trying to show my friends how to live that out through this, what I'm doing now. And it's kind of difficult because they actually look at me as a human. Like, you know, I put up on my Facebook today, my what did I say? My angel must be saying, what the hell is going on with him or something? It's something I put up there. I can't remember right now, but it's still like your art. You know, I know God is watching me, but I make so many mistakes, you know, and there's nothing wrong with making mistakes, bro. There's
Nothing at
wrong
all.
with being not perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's so wrong when we try to be more perfect in front of each other. That's when the hurt comes, because we start taking away the value of another person when they start trying to be more than one another. You know, so thank you for this, because I didn't come on to talk so therapeutically.
Yeah, you did. That's why you talk.
I probably needed this.
I mean, because the
So-
acronym of WARP is incredible. We are
Yes.
responsible people.
Yes, man.
That's great.
And we all are responsible people as soon as we take on this thing right here that we're doing, responsibility for ourselves. So we're going to try to take this label and this brand and gear it towards healthy humans, and hope that the world could, you know, just use a little bit of it and take on some of it for yourself, because we all are responsible.
Right.
That part. All right.
And we're going that one word I'm working on too. We all got to work on that one word. Take the word try and trying out. It's working on. We're working on this. Because that word keeps slipping up out of my mouth too.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I accept that. I accept that.
Another one my husband used to say is can't. Can't is the
Yep.
mother of suppression.
Yes.
Okay.
Take that word out.
Grew up with that one.
Take that word out.
Yeah.
That is the mother of suppression.
That's good.
Hey, we ought to do one on just about words, looking up the words in dictionaries and stuff like that. This word.
Epinology of the word. Epinology.
Yes.
That's an epinology study. Yeah.
Or something simple where I could understand like the origin of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need him to spell epinology. You got to show me on right there.
Bye, Lotus. I think Lotus is leaving us right now.
Oh.
Is there anybody else want to touch base on this one? I think we got one more slide after this too.
That's the last slide.
I think the last slide says thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Did you think it would be this long?
No, I didn't.
You put religion in there. Oh
I
yeah.
felt like I was in church, kind of like you didn't know what time he was getting out. No, I'm just joking. It was good.
No, and you know they say that
wasn't-
that's the one thing you don't
I
talk
was
about.
staying till the
Religion
end.
and politics, and what do we do?
It wasn't necessarily religion per se,
Right.
because the core of our understanding of religiosity, the core is that we are spiritual beings, and we're, no matter where you're at in your understanding of reality, is that you decide whether this is a 3D world, or it's an illusion, or it's a dream, or it's a holograph. You decide for yourself, where religion doesn't do that.
Yes,
It
true.
wants you to have a definition according to its box. I personally am not comfortable with religion. I am comfortable with perception, spirituality, all inclusiveness. That's what's comfortable for me.
Okay.
Whatever may be comfortable for you, I respect that.
Right.
That's right.
That's good.
That's right. Because it's all based on our own perception of reality.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
has sense, you know,
Yeah,
and we're all in different places at different times.
Right.
Yeah, because one thing when it says do not lean towards your own understanding,
Right.
that's actually not reality, because we all have our own type of understanding.
That's right.
You know,
Correct.
I like to sum it up with I like to sum it up in a tarot card understanding. The major arcanons are ourselves and aspects of the self that we go through. You know, if you don't know it and have an understanding about the tarot deck, there you got the Fool all the way up to the Magician, the King, the Priestess, and these are all aspects of your psyche. And what they call this is the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is through self-discovery. And the first card in self-discovery will be the 0. And that's the Fool. This is what we always speak about when we talk about healing ourselves. We always want to go back to the heart and be like a child of heart, a child of understanding, open-mindedness. And that Fool is a representation of that. The Fool is, if you look at the card, he's frolicking, gagging, you know, he's not a worry in the world, and he's connected to everything in nature and really don't care about it. But in the hero's journey, he goes through these stages of development, understanding that he is the magician, that he is the priestess, that he is this and he is that. And this is what we're doing. We are all the stars of our own movie. And this movie is kind of strangely intertwined and entangled. Cosmically, I would say quantum entangled together, that we're reflections of each other on different time schemes or situations or personalities, like they said, and experiencing our life. It's like looking at a circle, at a sphere, and in the center of that sphere is another small sphere. Now, inside of that small sphere, you can look to the surface in a straight line, and that is a perspective of the surface. Now, understand that inside that smaller sphere, you got all those different perspectives of the upper surface. They're different perspectives, but they are the same surface that different perspectives is observing. And that's just we are. We are all a perspective looking at the surface in many different ways. You know, I hope you get that, because that's something that I've been trying to form that into a point of how projection and how we perceive things and how we perceive each other in this dimension, of that dimension. I was going to go somewhere else, but that's what I want to take up on that, my perception of reality. This was a great conversation. I'm glad that we all came here, and I'm pretty sure that everybody got some love and learned a couple of things. I know I did. It was great. You know, I'm honored.
Thank you so much, Marilyn.
Thank you
I'm honored to be here
for
with
inviting me. Thank you
Marilyn.
for having this format for us to come in and share an experience on these Thursdays. As I told you before, I'm committed because I want to learn and grow. I want to be a better me.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you, Shauna. Welcome, Shauna. I hope you come back, Shauna.
Yes, Shauna, come on back.
Well, I can, but a part of it, my screen and stuff will be blacked out because I'm a behavior technician. I work with autistic kids. Yeah. So I do have a client and I get off at 6:30. So I can come on after I get off work.
That's fine.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhoda.
Thank you, Ray. Yeah. Everybody, Aurora's going to be leading the discussion next week.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, all right.
All right.
Yeah. Yay.
I might have me a steak dinner and some.
I was working on some greens.
And make sure you have your pencil and pad.
I wrote a little booklet about everything that happened today.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, but like I said, everybody give it right. I'm again doing once a month promotions, and I did the first one to get it out of my head, to get it out to the universe. So I'm gonna be working on the next one for next month, and then after that, I'm ready to get things rolling. So, like I said, I want us to be like one big conglomeration, because like I'm working with out the box economics, where we all can share and also refer people to one another's products or services. And we pay each other referral fees and stuff like that. Just work on building.
Okay.
Financial literacy and wealth building.
But okay.
And wealth building. I'm brainwashed.
Well, you know what? Say, after next Thursday, Bobby, me and you, we got to sit down and I would like for you to do a presentation about what you would like to see, what you would like to create with us. What could we do to benefit you that can benefit us, so we all can get somewhere,
Yeah, so we all can benefit. That's my whole vision.
Hey, I'm in.
Yeah, me too.
It's a us and a we.
Okay, yes. So that is a yes.
Okay, I'm in.
I'm supposed to answer now?
We say that's
the win. I gotta like to win. I'm just saying in the future.
Yeah, no, we can. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Give us a brief understanding of who you are and what you bring to the community, and ways that we can benefit for what you bring, and how.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And also, Shantae, everyone here, the platform is open for that, because believe me, we're going to sit and listen and eat up the food that you're feeding us, because we hungry. My baby would say that I was hungry. Yeah, I'm hungry for the wisdom. So, there's anybody, if you got something that you would like to express, what you're doing, give with me a deletion, and we can collaborate on figure out what you want to say, and we can make a little PowerPoint and we can do it, bring it to the group.
Thank you for all your work. Thank you for your intention, your prayers, your meditation. You're powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would like to offer. I would offer to the group, if you have any questions about dentistry, I'll give free just information service to you. If you have a question, you can send me pictures and photos of your mouth. I will assess from that point. I won't charge you for that, but and I'll help you find a referral. you know.
Thank you, Shantae. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Sorry,
you guys.
you're on mute. You're on mute.
Okay, okay, shall I get information from Ray to get to contact you?
Yeah, both of y'all on Facebook. I'm gonna connect y'all together on Facebook. Mostly all of us here is on Facebook.
I have 5,000. I don't have room on my Facebook anymore.
Yeah, and I'm packing, so I
Wow.
hardly go to Facebook these days.
Well, I'm gonna connect y'all. I connect y'all up. I'll give you
Cool.
Instagram, and
yeah, I'm on Instagram.
Yeah, there's another one that you can just get my number from Ray.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, because I love my old dentist, but he just blew it. I gotta go somewhere else.
Anybody else like to chime in? Reverend
Quiet?
Money, he's gone. Yeah, Reverend Money gone.
Yeah, he left.
Okay, Aurora, you
Yeah. I push myself to the max, my dearest beloveds. I have to go rest and take some medication. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Night.
Love
you
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
I'm gonna
Thank
have
you.
I'm gonna have to say good night on
It
too,
was better than
everybody.
I thought.
All right.
Yes,
Good
thank you. We
night.
love y'all.
Love you guys too.
Peace and hourly blessings to everyone. Thank you.
You too. Love you. Thank you.
Bye.